Hey gang, Wes Buck here, Drag Illustrated Magazine, checking in. It is Monday, November 29th, 2021. We got people checking in from all over the world. We got Chuck Williams in Texas, right down here in my neck of the woods. We got Jeff checking in from Melbourne, Australia. Gordon Dornan from Houston, great name. North Carolina in the house. We got a crowd already. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. Of course, it's time for the Drag Illustrated Ride Along. We are checking out Season 4 of Street Outlaws No Prep Kings. It has been a ton of fun. I want to say, I don't know how far into the season we are, like well over like a quarter of the way. Thank you guys, every one of you, for tuning in, being a part of this deal, helping us. We truly believe do good work for the sport of drag racing. Put our sport in front of new people, talk about it, dissect the things that are happening on the racetrack. As I've said 10 million times over the years, it's easy to stay fired up on Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday afternoon, right? When the races are rocking and rolling and we're all at the track, but it's that Monday through Thursday or Monday through Friday when we kind of let the dust settle, and it's good in some ways, but we got to keep the conversation going. This is where stick and ball sports beat us week in and week out. The games happen on Sunday exclusively almost, but we talk about it all week long. That's what drag racing needs, and that's what we're trying to do here tonight. So please, if you don't mind, click like, click subscribe if you're following along on YouTube. We hope you are. Click share, help us spread the message. This is going to be a lot of fun, man. I've just watched the first little bit of the show so far. I hope you're tuning in on Discovery Channel. I thought about this the other day. I've had, while I admit I haven't watched Street Outlaws religiously, I've gotten super into No Prep Kings this year because I know so many of the people involved, and that definitely has changed it. But I actually found myself last week, and I think I was just sitting around, like maybe on Thanksgiving. I hope everybody had a wonderful holiday, by the way. And I started to kind of get a little frustrated with myself because I go, what am I doing? I'm supposed to be like the ultimate drag racing ambassador, and I wasn't watching this show, but I somehow find time for Wheel of Fortune or whatever else. And I said, shame on me. And I got to tell you, shame on you if you're not watching this show. I don't care where you fall. I don't care if you love it, you hate it, you've got an opinion about street race, whatever. I get it, and I respect your opinion. I absolutely do. But let's not lose sight of the fact that men and women are doing burnouts on primetime television. This is a big deal. Drag racing is on prime time TV. So I don't care if you're an NHRA stock eliminator racer, a comp eliminator guy, whether you're a hardcore bracket racer, a PDRA Pro Mod superstar, wherever you're at, you've got to support this show. We have to support one another, and that's sometimes, unfortunately, as a sport, where we fall a little short. So anyways, thank you guys so much for being a part of this. I don't know, somebody calling me out for wearing yoga pants. All I saw was something about yoga pants. I'm not wearing yoga pants, I promise. I am wearing a hat, which is a little unusual. This is a sweet new Goodyear hat I got, and I'm pretty proud of it. I waited about a year to get it. Anyways, thank you guys again. We've got a hell of a show lined up for you. I'm super excited about this. I'm going to bring along my crew. We need to send the link. JT, I forgot. We got to send the link to Lyle. Send the link to Lyle right now, please.
I'll do it.
My bad. And then send my apologies to Lyle. It's been a busy evening. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I am joined, as always, by my main men, Mike Carpenter, JT Hudson, Murder Tundra, and the legend, the man, the myth, the legend, one of the greatest to ever do it, Pat Musi. What's going on, guys?
What's up?
What's up, man?
I'm good, guys. Hello to everybody. Mike, JT, Wes. Everything's good. I'm home relaxing.
I was just, Pat, do you watch the show? Like, I mean, do you sit down and watch it and kind of like rack your brain about how it actually happened versus what we're seeing on TV?
Yeah, I actually watch it when I can. I try to record it so I can get through the commercials, but it gets to be a blur when you're on the road. We had 6 races in a row. I don't even remember what happened sometimes. I remember the ones we won. I remember when we finally got our act together, you know, but it becomes a blur when you're racing that much.
Were you surprised at all? And I want to apologize to everybody. Mike, good luck trying to watch the show. JT, good luck trying to watch the show.
I know,
Pat,
right?
good luck.
Yeah.
We're going to be running our mouths the whole
I had
time
to
here.
bring Pat and Lizzy up to speed on this. Hey, we've never done more legwork to try to get some guests on the show tonight, man. We're ready, right? We're coming out of the Thanksgiving holiday, guns blazing.
Let's be honest, though.
Yeah.
Pat's easy. Pat, we call Pat, he answers. But Lizzy,
Right.
you know, we've had to work for this one a little bit. So she's going to hear about it here tonight. I promise you that. But Pat, I got a bunch of questions for you, but being how we're seeing the drivers meeting, what a production they make out of the drivers meeting and the chip draw. What did you think of this the first time you walked up and saw this whole thing unfold?
I kind of stand back and observe, you know me, and they don't get it. I watch everybody. Yeah, that's my job. I watch cars running. I watch how guys drive, you know, any little feedback I can give my driver, my crew. I watch everything that goes on. But I think it was here where we got into, all of a sudden these rules came up, and I had to finally get in the middle of it and say, hey, guys, you know, if we're going to have rules, we're going to have rules. So this whole big drama deal wasn't drama to me. It's just normal shit. So talk.
Is this it? Is this it starting right here?
I'm trying to take a glance. Yeah, this is it. There's our boy. Kai calls him the snitch. So.
This is where the famous T-shirt originated from.
The T-shirt drop.
That's where the famous T-shirt originated.
Yeah, we might need to ask Kai if he's gotten his delivery of shirts yet, right? They were coming. Swanstrom was sending them to him.
I know.
Here it is. Yeah.
I try not to respond to anything on him on Facebook or, you know, deal with him.
He tries real hard. Pat has to work very hard to restrain himself.
Yeah, I do.
So real quick, what's going on here? Why is everybody drawing so aggressively? Is that how that always happens?
Yeah, they always draw like that. You know, I mean, the object
I
is
thought
not
they
to
went
draw
around or something. Oh no, yeah, I get it. Yeah.
I think this is the team attack. I'm having trouble watching it like you guys. So the team attack is first. It's 2 from each team. That's something they started this season.
Well,
and
the team attack was on. It comes on.
But I
afterward.
think are they showing that to set the scene for some sort of drama?
I don't think so.
No, I think this is the draw for the invitational.
No, the invitation will be the drama. You'll see it if they. Depends how much they cut and edited. You know, you never know. But I was kind of.
Does that make you uneasy? Does it make you uneasy at all not knowing? I've always thought I might put myself in that situation. No, but just not knowing how it's going to come across. Like you have no idea, right?
Well, I don't know. You know me. I mean, it's hard. I got tough.
Well, yeah.
And Gillette says he's been doing it for 25 years. I've been doing it for 50. So I had to deal with Roy Hill. I had to deal with Ronnie Sox. A lot of guys probably don't know who they are, but you can Google them. Those guys were tough. So I was the younger one out of them. So I grew up having to deal with those guys. These guys, I mean, I'm good with it. Whatever they got, I'm good with it. They kind of know the old man won't take no shit.
So you're trying to say? Are you saying that?
You know, as long as it stays.
Are you saying that in the old days it was a lot tougher than what we're seeing right now? Are you saying it's soft today?
Yeah,
Softer
Roy,
today?
Imagine dealing with Roy Hill West.
I know what it's like dealing with
Roy
Hill.
Imagine with him.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't. I don't know how I'd feel at a buffet line with Roy Hill, let alone racing against him. You know what I mean?
You say that. We tore up some restaurants, me and him.
I bet he did. I bet. Don't you think Boosted does a good job in this role of like being the circus master? I think he does a pretty good job.
He really does. I told him that. I mean, he really does. I'll tell you who impressed me, you know, and I didn't realize, you know, I think he's genuine, you know, is Chuck Seisinger came along, you know, and he's turned out to be a Lizzy fan, he says, you know, but he's been a gentleman through the whole year, you know. I mean, it's good. I get along with all of them. I mean, I just don't go for some of the back talking, but I'll deal with that my own way, and like I always do. But
Well, it looks like,
it's
guys,
a great group.
we got some great matchups. I just took a picture. These are some round one. I'll just run through these for those that are watching along with us. Randy Williams versus Scott Taylor. Jerry Bird versus Kai Kelly. That's obviously going to be one we're talking about. Chuck Sightsinger versus Jeff Lutz. Another good race. All these are good races. We'll talk about that next. Giuseppe Gentile against Sean Wilhoit, which was supposed to be on the show a couple weeks ago. He's from Weatherford, Texas, which is like 10 miles from me. Jim Howell versus Tim Brown. Brandon James versus Lizzy Musi, who we got some questions in the comment. She's going to check in about halfway through. That way we didn't get too overwhelmed. Also, JT, did you send the link to
I
Lyle?
did. Yeah, I sent it out to about 10 people, so we'll see who should.
Just whoever.
How many cars are on that list,
good.
Wes?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Yep.
So
16
this
cars.
is a team attack. I'm just curious how.
Yeah, that's a good point.
How did we get 3? Lizzy, Kai, Jerry. I don't understand how that happened, but
This isn't team attack.
Yeah, this is the invitational from Tucson.
Yep.
Okay, so I've stopped. Chuck 55 versus Bobby Ducati. Birdman versus Mike Bowman. Mike Bowman. There's some. Were you at all surprised or not by like the level of competition, Pat? We've talked about this a little bit, but I don't know that this group of racers gets the credit they deserve. I know there's animosity between some of the different camps and whatnot, but were you? What was your initial reaction to like, hey man, in this season, this is some real deal drag racing? Because we hear that a lot. You're connected to PDRA, NHRA, all these other types of racing. One of the things that we hear most frequently is, oh man, that's not real racing, blah, blah, blah. Were you impressed by the competition that exists here?
absolutely. If they think it's easy, tell them to come out and try it. I mean, it's real racing. You've been there, Mike. I mean, get in the water's fine. Come on out. You could race to get in, or whatever you need to do. But it's the real deal. We're all racing, and there's a hell of a lot of fast cars this year. I mean, it's just been a crazy deal. The 6 in a row took its toll on equipment, on the teams, but I kind of was used to it in the old days. We do a pro stock deal. We'd race back to back to back, but we usually PDRA, we always have a couple weeks between. This was 6 in a row. I mean, we started out, what we started out.
That's
Tucson,
crazy.
Over to Denver. I mean, it was great.
We'll kind of set this up, Pat. I mean, we don't want to really give away spoilers on the show, but we'll talk about you guys between Darlington, where you crashed, or where Lizzy crashed Bonnie, and then it was 45 days. You guys brought Aftershock back out, and then 45 days from Darlington to Tucson, and you guys made the haul to Tucson with the repaired Bonnie machine. So how about that kind of a feat?
I really didn't think it was possible. Robert Hayes knew it was possible. Adam, the track that helps us, Kai's guy, and everybody kind of helped. But Robert, I mean, they worked nonstop. I gave him Elliot. Elliot worked for Robert that whole period of time, so he had more help. He had a guy quit him, but they got it done. The body guy got it done. Everybody did their job. I coordinated it. I know what it takes, to do this. And but I had my doubts, but we made it. We got it done. And I knew if we could get that car, we had that car so close at Darlington.
Right.
And just a freak deal mishap. And look, they wrecked, I mean, it's just something's going to happen. Lizzy admitted herself. She overdrove it because she's racing. Didn't see the guy alongside her and tried to get back in it, and it just made a turn on her. But thank God she was okay. The car was repairable. Glass Tech, you talk about a sponsor that stepped up. They stepped up and got a front end to us in 10 days. David Newell sent a driver out to get it. And then, Donnie and Julie Wilson came on board just to help repair that car. It was just unbelievable. Everybody came together, and it was really great deal to see. You'll see it tonight, the end result, but it was pretty impressive.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the kind of the shame of the whole deal at Darlington is you guys were hauling ass and you were so close to really having that car where you wanted it, then had to take a step back and then sort of, work to get back to where you were, but didn't take very long as you guys were right back on top.
Yeah, we got it all together. Like I said, Robert Hayes, Adam, all those guys worked hard. I mean, Kai wanted to see the car run. I mean, we all worked on that thing. We want to see Lizzy run and have a good finish, and she had a rocky start, but a great finish, I think. I think if we rolled out tomorrow, we're ready to race right now.
That's awesome.
What would you say, Pat? Like we talked earlier about sort of coming around to the Street Outlaws deal and to the no prep deal. You've always been a traditional drag racer, door car racer, pro stock, pro street, pro mod, pro nitrous. And it sort of took you some time to come around to the idea of the whole Street Outlaws thing once Lizzy got into it. So, I mean, how did that come about and how did your mindset change over time?
Well, I think the first one I went to was New Hampshire, and we wound up winning it, but it was at the racetrack.
That helps.
I mean, everybody knows still not a great,
okay. Quick answer.
Yeah, that helps.
I'm not a great fan of on the street deal. I think the cars are a little sketchy for that. They need to maybe be slowed down, but this no prep deal, it just grew on me. I had to get used to, I have never seen my whole career. And one of my pet peeves, I don't let my driver, meaning Lizzy, talk to other drivers, or they'll actually come up to you. Hey, could you wait for me to stage? And because I'm having trouble coming up on a two-step. I mean,
kind of trying to get in your head.
You don't want to tell me that. You definitely don't. 'Cause I'm gonna yeah, okay, no problem. I got it. I got you. And that's what Lizzy's been talking about.
Yeah, we'll wait on you.
Yeah.
Hey, well,
you take your time. Just take
Speaking
your
of that,
time.
we've seen there was a comment earlier. Let me scroll back up. Here we go. Chris Hull. I think he was talking. I don't know what this is a reference to, Chris. If you're still watching, maybe clarify this. But I think you were talking about how you don't want to get into the drama and you try to keep it a gentleman's game. And I think he came in and said, "Gentlemen don't burn people down because they're faster." We'll see. We'll get clarification on that. But I think he was talking to you, Pat. I mean, what do you have? That kind of goes to what you're saying there, as far as doing whatever it takes to win.
A bicycle? Does he ride a bicycle or drive a car? I need to know first.
Oh no, he wasn't. He was referring to Chuck burning down Swan. So, all right, Chris. Clear. Thanks for the clarification there.
Chuck burning down.
Didn't mean to get Pat.
Racing,
I was like,
on you.
Mike's going all in.
Yeah.
Well, it's right when we were talking about that, and I meant to bring it up. So, Chris, sorry about that.
It wasn't pointed at us, but you're always getting accused of that. I mean,
yeah.
Look, when I ran Pro Street, the turbos had such an advantage. Any chance I got to find a weakness on those guys, I used against them. I had to. I couldn't outrun them. The rules were just set that way, when they first came out.
I mean, that's racing. I always believe that's racing. And when I was, a young guy and racing with my dad, that's what you did, whatever it took. I mean, in qualifying or whatever, you go up and stage and you try to make it as clean as possible. But when eliminations come around, it's cutthroat. It's whatever it takes to win. And it seems like everyone's a little bit sensitive to that now. We talk about guessing the light. We talk about, staging,
I'm glad
burning
you brought
down.
that up because we can clarify that now.
Real quick.
How they fix it, I don't know, but it's not the way it was. The guys are going red that are trying to anticipate the light, which I think is a greater deal. Me and Ryan were probably the biggest advocates. Look, this has to stop. I mean, we can't get outrun by a car, let's say, that goes 450 and we go 390. You can get outrun the way they had it. So they've done a good job about that. It's still in green, but
okay. So here's the whole deal, though, right? Here's the big fight happening on the TV. Like this is the argument.
Yeah, here we go.
Sorry
There's the argument.
Okay. All right. So I'm just gonna try to watch this for a second.
Yeah, let's just watch this and listen.
Same thing happened to me a couple races ago. Right, well, I'm going to put my car up because I could have won first round and got my points. Unless y'all want to redraw. So I go up for round one, and somebody that I thought was my friend protested me. Me and Justin Swanstrom thought we were pretty close. He tested in Orlando, It's 170 miles. Because I thought we were boys. He gets here and he protests me because the Bird Boys was going to race me with a borrowed car. Hey, let's go back to the trail. And then they come up with some book saying I ain't gonna get no points. For what? Because they said that Jerry raced his car yesterday for team badge, and then it counts for NPK. Everybody has to run by those same rules. Ain't nobody special. One thing y'all should have said that at the meeting instead of waiting to get something. No, it's not listen. That's a bit more manly.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
So what's your take
about
on
to
all
be in the
this,
middle
Pat?
of this
What's
Swanstrom
the-
sandwich
second.
right here.
Yeah. What's
So I
the
kind of, in a little bit here, I'm going to take up for Kai and Dean are going to have rules. What about the guys that tested the Tucson 3 days before the race? Unfortunately, we drugged them into it, but I was trying to get Swanstrom to back off of Kai, and they want to go by the rules. And let's
So
go
you
by
were
the
kind
rules.
of doing the like, hey, let's nobody press charges. I've been in a couple of these
Exactly.
situations before.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? I think you know what I mean. Like, hey, how about this? You don't press charges, I won't press charges, and we all go home. And
But
yeah,
old fatty
but it
in his
didn't
big
work out.
mouth wasn't having it.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, he's on it. But this is the kind of stuff that goes on. But the more, you know,
Dude,
I
I
mean,
think I'm behind you guys.
I think
Hey,
funny to
I gotta
watch
get another
Pat's-
beer for this.
Oh,
Pat's ahead of
Pat's
us.
getting excited.
Yeah.
Some popcorn.
Oh man. Oh,
Babe, it's popping off on Street Outlaws.
but I think
Thank
the
you.
drama's all good on the other side of it, you know. But
Huh. Oop, oop.
So it is what it is. He's adjusting the protesters. Swanstrom. I hope everybody's.
Are y'all watching
Oh,
this?
yeah.
I hope everybody
Yeah.
watching at home is like
Yeah,
clicking like and
he's a
clicking
bleep.
share because this is about to get interesting. Interesting.
Who are you protesting? I'm protesting Amarillo and Birdman because they tested here. Yeah. Swanstrom, he didn't hit the protest.
so they want basically they want to pass.
So, yeah.
Schwarstrom wasn't letting them get the pass. They can blame it on me all they want, but I'll take the
The
blame.
protester is not a terrible nickname. You know what I mean?
The protester.
It's kind of, the protester.
oh man.
You know, it's not terrible.
And then
But
these guys just they got thrown in it, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So do we
Murillo
get to hear
and
from
Birdman.
Birdman and Murillo?
Yeah, well, he
Oh,
just
there we go.
announced
It's
that he
happening
threw
right
him
now.
out.
Okay, here we go. Hold on. Poor boosted man. What a rough
I
spot.
know, right? Yeah, he's stuck. That was pretty good, Pat. All right, so behind the scenes, I mean, was it as intense as what we saw there? I mean,
it was for a little bit.
Probably
But,
worse.
you know, I kind of took a little heat for sticking to my guns, but look, I can't take it back. I said I was going to protest them. They did the wrong thing. Schwarstrom, I said, if Schwarstrom takes his off of Kai, I won't protest those guys. How about that? Nope. Schwarstrom wasn't having it. Okay, then let's do it. Everybody's out. So that's how it wound up. Come to find
There you
out,
go.
and I didn't know at that point, they have a 200-mile, unlike NHRA, 200 miles from the facility you're going to race at, and 2 weeks prior, you're not allowed to race at the track.
Wow.
So there were
Wow.
some older races. They were trying to go back to older races. We didn't even realize. I mean, I think they'd have thrown everybody out if they'd known that. But now it's set in stone. That's it. But those guys actually tested that week at Tucson prior to the race. Anybody
Yeah,
knows better than that, So
That's I mean, I
It's pretty
tend to
blatant.
agree. Like, to be honest, it's well known, it's well established that like testing at the track you're going to race at, within, the last couple of weeks is a rough deal. Everybody knows. I mean, it's a well established thing. That happens though in drag racing, right? I mean, there are multiple times when you got to read the rule book.
Yeah.
You really do. You know, you should know the rules.
Well, and I was pretty happy with the compliance guy. They brought him down. I said, look, I just need to know what the rules are. And he read them off to me, and I was surprised that it was the 200-mile. Never knew about it. I said, fine, I'm good with it all, you know, but I'm sticking to my guns. I mean, I said it. I mean it. They're gonna go by the rules. Let's go by the rules, and that's what it was, you know. So I stand by. Now, me and Mike and Birdman have shook hands over. We're good, you know. So everybody's cool. Everybody's good. Unfortunately, they were kind of the guys that were in the wrong place at the wrong time. What else can I say, you know? But I think Swanstrom.
I will tell you. Go ahead.
Swanstrom, you know, pulled that deal last minute when Kai rolled up there. We could have probably put a head on Jerry Bird's car and got him the run. See, the whole deal was Kai wouldn't get 5 points if Bird didn't run alongside him. But they waited till they pulled up ready to run, and then they, not at the driver's meeting, then they brought him up. So that's why I kind of got heated. You know, I felt like if they really wanted a man up, they should have called him out at the driver's meeting, gave him an opportunity.
But Justin was saying something during the driver's meeting, wasn't he?
I didn't hear it. I really don't know. I'd have to play it back, which I probably will.
I think they did. I genuinely think that Justin he didn't read the rules, but he did say, like, I think he said, go ahead and do it. You ain't going to get no points or something, you know, and,
well,
you know.
I didn't hear
but
that.
You know what?
In
fairness, and it's such a tough spot for Boosted because I know what it's like to be like the guy holding the microphone, you know, and there really needs to be, you know, someone that is right there saying, kind of making the group adhere to the letter of the law. Like, hey, if these are the rules and we're going to enforce them, there probably needs to be someone that's not Boosted up there watching it, because it's a big ask. I'm just saying, like, it's a big ask for Sam. I don't know, like, God bless those guys, but I don't know that they're as tuned in to, like, the inner workings of racing and how this whole thing goes. They're trying to make a TV show. Like, I saw it in Dallas. Like, I was blown away. That guy,
and it makes good TV. I mean,
he's there doing this. Like,
no, you mean doing what I'm saying?
Oh, the framing.
You know,
he's framing it.
He's making a move. You know, he's making a show the whole time.
But if they've got some dry tech guy up there or whatever, it's not the same show as Boosted handling it. So they're walking that line between making something entertaining to watch with all the characters that you love versus like a legit, you know, real deal NHRA style drag race. So you got to walk.
Like, I would suggest something like, obviously it's not like having Lonnie Grimm or having somebody that can say, hey, just so you know, if this happens and this happens, because I actually think that'd be a cool little sidebar for the show.
Well, that's what I'm trying to tell you. They brought their compliance guy who works with Lonnie. Lonnie Grimm is there. He knew the rules better than I did. He read them to us, read them to everybody after it was over, said, okay, we clarified it. This is what we're going to live and die for the rest of the deal. That's it. It's over. And I think everybody understands everything now. And
well, it kind of takes that. It usually takes that in anything, like safety rules never come about until somebody gets hurt in a certain way or killed.
True.
And then these rules never get read until someone dives in there and finds something. So now, trust me, I'm sure no one will be testing within 500 miles of a track.
No, we won't. I can assure you.
Yeah.
We got close, but there were a lot of teams that were close. So I never knew that existed. You know, we went to, for instance, we were at Galot before Virginia, and it's under 200 miles. It's like, I don't know, 170. That was Swanstrom tested at Orlando before West Palm Beach. Everybody knows it's less than 200. So right at the beginning it happened, you know. So, but look, it's clarified now. Hopefully we move on, and I think you're going to see some really good racing this season coming up. I think you'll see some good racing tonight. It starts to all come together. You see who's who, and it's
how how much of a mindset shift has it been for you, Adam, everybody involved with running the cars, to go from like the PDRA pro nitrous situation where the track's killer, right? And versus coming here and likely having to detune these things and whatnot. How much of a, have you enjoyed that, or what's your take on it?
I don't know if I enjoyed it. It's tough. I mean, I had to learn
Yeah.
to take a step back and detune, you know, but I really feel like the next 6 events that we go to, we got our act together finally, and I've learned to do that. And Adam is always kind of the sanity of our crew sometimes, you know. We don't need to go that fast to beat this guy, but
Right.
that's kind of the mindset. You got to look at it. It's really critical. You're not qualifying and you know who you're going to run at the beginning of the day. You're picking out of a bucket. So, meaning we could pick Ryan Martin first round, we could pick Kai first round, you know, a really fast car. So, it keeps you on your toes, I can tell you that.
Hi, Lyle.
Hey guys.
Hey, Lyle.
Yeah, Lyle.
Welcome to the show, dude. I forgot
Lyle
to
snuck
send you
in
the
here.
link.
What's up, Pat?
Hey, how you doing?
Good, man.
I can hardly see. I got to look at my screen closer. There you are.
Uh,
How's
Do
it
you
going,
think,
buddy?
how, like, so just so the people watching and like that pay attention to a lot of different types of drag racing, if Lizzy's car, or if Tommy Franklin's car at a PDRA race is on 100, how far pulled back are these cars? Like on a scale of 1 to 100, 70%, 80, 95. Like,
I mean, believe it or not, when the track gets good at night, we're at 100. I mean, it's
Wow.
crazy what you can finally get to. But first round, I'd say you're at minimum at 70.
wow.
So you
That's
got to
cool.
just go round by round, track by track. Some tracks never come around. We fought some issues, you know, with track unprepping, believe it or not. It's supposed to be no prep. Well, it's either no prep at all or they started unprepping. But I'll tell you, a lot of things got squared away, and I'm pretty happy about that. We know what we're in for. But again, you go to track surfaces that ain't the same, but that's what they have to do. NHRA, PDRA, the tracks all change. So you got to be ready to race the racetrack, you know.
The lights are fixed now on these episodes, right?
Yeah.
What's that?
The lights, the tree is fixed on these episodes, I think, now. Like the first season they weren't, everybody was guessing the lights, but I think they're fixed now, right?
Yeah. I mean,
The
halfway,
second
like,
half, yeah, they fixed it. Halfway through, they finally fixed it. And a bunch of them got caught red light, you know. And,
so tell
you know,
us, I
got
mean, kind of
caught by it.
recap for us, Pat. What did they do exactly to fix it?
I really don't know. They do their own thing. They worked with whoever does the timing system. There were a lot of people involved.
CompuLink,
But
probably.
they fixed it. Yeah, CompuLink. I couldn't think of the name. I think it's Bob is his first name. I know him on
Right.
site, you know, but bad with last names. But they come up
Rottmeier.
with something that works. You know, you got to picture this. So they got a full tree. They would just unscrew the ambers, and it was on 5/10. You got almost a second before that green light comes on. Think about how much
Of just
of a
blank,
guess-
nothing happening,
a
no lights,
blank,
just
nothing
yeah.
happening. You
Yeah.
can let the button go. So that's a ton. You just, I think they finally realized, you know, that was going the other way. People were figuring out. We figured it out at a race with Lizzy, and there goes Lizzy now. But
Yeah, how so getting to that, you're running them at like 100% toward the end of the night.
Jeez.
Are they going to show it?
That must be behind
Yeah.
you. Oh, they're going to show Brandon James. They're talking about Brandon James. Right,
Yeah.
because that's who
We a little sidebar.
I'm not familiar
you
with
know,
this guy.
My wife says every time they run, either he wrecks or Lizzy wrecks. So
yeah.
who do we draw first round here? Is Brandon James, but he's a good kid, a good racer. You know, look, shit happens. You know, I mean, he crashed on the street, come across Lizzy, you know, and then Lizzy crashed against him. But we got this one out of the way, and Lizzy was calm after this deal. But as Lizzy, just go race your race. I mean, forget the jinx deal, forget it all, just race them. And I guess you can see it turns out okay.
You got to
We
be
had a
pretty
really
proud of
fast
your daughter,
starter.
aren't you? Like, you got to be pretty proud
Yeah.
of Lizzy. This is amazing to
Well-
see this. I mean, you're watching her on TV right now, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, and she's doing a killer job. You got to realize she crashed, and we were racing less than 9 days later. She got back in that, we call it the shit box, the aftershock car. Got back in that thing, and that thing's always a handful. But, you know, she drove it the best she could. You know, she's won a lot of races for us driving. I mean, unfortunately, you got to peddle these things in the no prep world sometimes, and she's does her job. She's done a great job for us.
And just kind of, I mean, over time, figuring it out, right? When you come from the pro mod, pro nitrous world, it takes some adjustment to this deal. And I mean, that was going to be my question going into 2022. What have you guys learned? I mean, what do you kind of got? You got any new tricks up your sleeve or things that you've learned over the last year or two running this deal that you can tell us about?
Yeah, I feel like we have. We're definitely going to have some new engine stuff and some new tune-up stuff we're going to bring to the table. You know, every winter we work on new stuff and get faster and faster. Everybody does. If you don't, you'll get behind. So hopefully all that'll pan out good for us. And we feel like we have a car that could win. You know, we didn't win all 6. We did pretty good. You know, I don't want to give it away, you know, to everybody who watches, but we had a pretty good back half of the season. We feel like now we got a top contender, you know, a number 1 car. You know, it's funny. They all kind of gave up on Lizzy after the crash. You know, she was so low in the points. But after winning this race, we jumped way up, and they said, boy, she could win this thing too. I said, yeah, it's anybody's game. There's a long season to go yet. You know, we don't know who could fall out, and anything can happen. You know, and I think they got a little awakening call when she come out and we got her act together and she ran good. So I'm proud of her for that, getting back in it and doing her deal.
Hey, Pat, we got a question from Max Mortimer. How much do you help Kai? Like, as far as a team deal, like how much does the whole NOLA team work together? How much do you help
Good
Kai?
question.
He's got such a similar combination to Lizzy's.
Believe it or not, we at the last 6, you know, like I said, he's offered up Adam to help us, which is his crew guy, works with Robert, works with us. I give him anything I have in the engine stuff. He knows that. You know, people are always saying, well, Lizzy gets the better stuff. Well, towards the end of the season, he shook my hand. He said, I know I got as good a stuff as Lizzy got. You know, I was down input. We worked on some stuff, you know, some things he had going on. And, so me and Kai work pretty tight together. Everybody knows that. You know, they got to go up there and race. They're going to race each other, and you'll see. No deals, no nothing. We're racing. But as far as any other teams, we try to keep our stuff as far away as we can. I don't want to, you know me, I don't want to share my stuff. I tell my customers all the time, if a guy's coming over to say he's going to help you, he's probably going to learn more from you than you're going to learn from him. And it happens all the time. So we say to ourselves, like, you know that, you know, but Kai is going to be my son-in-law, so I got no choice. I got to work with him. No, you know what I mean? He really jumped up when Lizzy crashed, and whatever it takes, we got to get her running good. So he wants her to run good. So it was a good thing to see the whole team come together, you know. So we park next to each other and we do our deal. But at the end of the day, when they go up and race, they're trying to take each other's heads off. So it's pretty good.
One of the things it feels like we hear about all the time is like NHRA crowds versus No Prep Kings crowds, right? Like throughout the season, you'll hear like, oh, the track was empty when NHRA came to town, which we all know is bullshit. But, you know, I'm just saying it to set the stage. And the NPK was packed or vice versa. I'm just curious, what's your take, Pat, just on the crowds and on the fan kind of involvement, people lined up for autographs? I mean, what do you make of the overall scene and how it's impacting drag racing? Like, it feels like a brand new fan base. These aren't like my experience when I was at the Motorplex a little over a month ago when you guys were down there. Like the fans I saw during the NHRA national event when Lyle's down there cleaning house and blowing the doors off everybody in Pro Mod, like they were decidedly different people than the people that I saw there for the No Prep Kings event. I mean, what do you make of the different crowds and the size of this? And I mean, what do you make of it?
Well, it's a different crowd, but I'll tell you, I always heard that they're not even car people. Everyone I've shook a hand knows me from the green car. Some of them know me from the Pro Stock deal. They all have a hot rod at home. They're car people, but they're maybe not as top fuel oriented or Pro Stock oriented like NHRA has. But the crowds just blew me away. I don't think Sam missed one venue to where he didn't pack the place, and there was traffic jams everywhere to get in. And we do great we could tell by our T-shirt sales, and Lizzy has a great following. I mean, I couldn't ask for anything better. But one thing they do, they protect their characters that they're building, and they don't want to see high dollar teams. Look, we get accused of being a high dollar team. Well, I got news for you. Anybody thinks Ryan ain't paying Proline big money needs to go see a psychiatrist and just look in his trailer. So you're not going to stop it. I mean, we work hard every day. Mike, you're at my shop. You see me on the weekends. We're always there working. And, I won't go out there without the equipment I think we need to win. I mean, you're racing against, like I said, top shelf people. I mean, he's got Petty there, Tuning. I mean, they're all there. All Pro-Line people are there. I mean, they've all got the best equipment, all of them. So,
hey, Pat, we got a question from Marco Philham. Sorry if I butchered that. He's noticed Dean Marinas hanging around a couple episodes. I know Dean tunes Chad Green and goes with you guys on the Pro Nitrous side of things. How often does he come to the Street Outlaws deal?
When he can. I mean, me and Dean are great friends. We talk once a week. We bounce things off each other. But schedule-wise, we're either on top of an NHRA. He's taken on. He does a little crewing with the funny car with Chad now. And then between my customers and his customers, Freddie Scriba, Matt Deesh, those guys over in the other association. What is it? Northeast Pro Mod?
Northeast Outlaw Pro Mod.
Northeast Outlaw Pro Mods, yeah.
Yeah. So schedule-wise, it's difficult. Even Robert Hayes struggles with it. He's got to do the big dog deal, so that he can't always make it. But we managed to do it. I mean, Adam is always there, which is great. I'll tell you, there's a guy. I mean, if we're swapping a motor, he's right in there with us. He's not afraid to get his hands dirty. Same with Robert.
I mean, in all fairness, it's not always like that with tuners, right? I remember like the first time I was exposed to like some of the hired gun crew chiefs and stuff, they're touching like notebooks and laptops only. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's the only thing that's happening. And God bless that. That's fine. And they deserve, I mean, if that's the deal, that's the deal. But it is always nice to see somebody that can do like, oh, hey, we need to yank the heads off this thing, or we need to put a rack in it, and they're on their back dropping the oil pan. You know what I mean? Like you have a unique appreciation for guys that are willing to get their hands dirty.
And I appreciate that. I'm in there. They're always saying, God damn, that old man's up to 2 o'clock in the morning. We'll do what we got to do, and that's the kind of people I surround myself. It's like anything we do. Me and Mike had a meeting with the Edelbrock crew today, and we worked out some things. But it's about surrounding yourself with the best people, right? I mean, when 100%. I ran Pro Stack back, let's say, going back to the 70s, Jason Line come by the shop when I left, and we started talking about what it was like back then. And I drove the truck, I set the car up, I did it all, and maybe had one guy helping me. You can't possibly do it. One guy cannot do it. I mean, it's just not possible. So it's you just gotta surround yourself with the right people, that keep their mouth shut for one. It's my one golden rule, and when we gotta dig in, they dig in, So I appreciate you guys observing that we're like that,
Pat, we had a really important question come up from Jeremy Sather. Man, these names kill me. Sather?
Seth Ray?
Sather.
Seth Ray?
Yeah, Jeremy. He has to ask it. Are Pat, Lizzy, and Kai going to be at DI After Hours party again? The biggest party in drag racing.
Yeah, actually, Dino's on my marina. He was on me Sunday. Man, I don't know. I'll see, but we'll be there, guys. Promise you, we'll be there.
Pat's
Maybe
never
Lizzy.
missed one.
Yeah,
Pat,
maybe
we honestly don't even start the party until Pat gets there.
One year Lizzy
Fact.
missed her autograph session the next day, though, didn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need to get
How
Lizzy
about
on
the
here. Yeah.
best was, God bless him, when we brought Vic Edelbrock. You were shocked.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That was like, I've got a photo in my office downtown of me and Vic Edelbrock. I never forget looking over at the door, and it's like, oh, here comes Pat Musi. Oh, he brought Liz. And I'm like, that's cool. And then the next person through the door is Vic Edelbrock wearing his Edelbrock Letterman's jacket. And I'm like,
throw that
holy
pick up,
shit.
man. I know you got it.
I gotta find it.
He was going out the door when he was leaving, and Keith Berry had just pulled up in a
Yes, I forgot about this.
like a triple axle
Stretch limo.
triple axle stretch limo Hummer. And everybody's outside taking pictures and stuff. And Vic's in this breezeway, and he looks out the door and he looks at me and goes, "Who is that guy?" I just looked at it, Keith Berry, and he goes, "Huh." He walked off.
He's like, "Who the hell is that?"
Yeah.
It's that was literally a highlight of my life, to be honest.
It was cool. And
That was
I'm pretty sure
that was a big moment.
I'm pretty sure the next day I've got a picture of it, and it's Vic Edelbrock and an empty seat, and Lizzy and Edelbrock posters, and it's just Vic just signing away, and there's an empty seat right there.
Yeah.
So
Lizzy,
that might have been the
time.
last
had a
time
pretty rough
Lizzy
night
came.
that night.
Yeah, that she might have bowed out since then. That was maybe 4 or 5 years ago.
That
a
was
good
a
time.
rough night.
Good time.
Hey Pat, I have a totally unrelated non-Street Outlaws question, but Scott Palmer and I were having a conversation the other day, and he was telling me how until he got in this pro mod that he has been driving, he's never let go of a trans brake, like ever. He's always let go of a clutch. How many trans brake cars have you driven? Have you always let go of a clutch, or?
I've always let go of a clutch, but I
That's what I
drove
figured.
Lizzy's the black car to first start. I drove in Michigan a little bit. I'll tell you what I struggled with, and Ricky laughs at me, of course, because he's driven them more. I didn't get that much. I slammed on the brakes coming out of the burnout.
Yeah.
Because, clutch car, you got to clear the clutch so you don't ruin your clutch tune-up if you ease in on it. So I jammed on the brakes because Bickle got the bright idea. Sorry, Jerry. But he put the clutch pedal hooked to the brake. He's got it leaned over this way. So it was right where I would hit the clutch. So I come out of the water, bam, on the brakes, lock the brakes up. I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
So I
My old
actually
man did
literally-
that too.
I had to wrap my foot around the back of the pedal and pull it up against the back of the pedal so I could make the run.
Yeah,
But,
Scott said,
That's a hard lesson to.
Very
and that's-
first run my old man made when we put the
I
converter
remember
in the
this,
car. It was
yeah.
at Piedmont Dragway. This thing hauled ass, made a good run, and throws the chutes. Next thing all we see is just white smoke. Can't see anything. And then turns out he's done like a couple donuts and landed up against the guardrail. We get down there and said, "What the hell happened?" He said, "Well, went through the lights and decided to shove the clutch in. Only the problem is this thing doesn't have a damn clutch, and I'm shoving the brake in." So he just locked the brakes up and did,
I remember
did a
that
couple.
well.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's tough to teach an old dog new tricks, right?
yeah,
Pat?
Scott said that when he
Well,
let go of the button
you're
the
all
first
ma-
time in his car,
Go.
he immediately let go of the throttle. Like he let go of the button and that thing went to leave, and he was
Really?
yeah, he came off the gas. He was like, I had no idea why.
I didn't do that. I was on the floor, but I slammed the brakes on. I'll tell you that. I ain't afraid to tell you. But, I got thousands of runs with a clutch. I mean, I drove Pro Mod. I've won in Pro Mod, Pro Stock. The Pro Street deal was always a clutch and handles. And No automatic shifters, none of that stuff. But it was a hard habit. I think I could have broke it, but you know what? I really don't care. I don't have no interest in driving much anymore. I'll scuff tires. We'll go to Mooresville and I'll scuff tires, and maybe I'll disconnect the brake pedal next time and just let it go.
Just keep on trucking.
That's a good question though, Lyle. Like I can't get over, like, if you think about a lot of the stars of our sport right now, like Stevie Fast Jackson, I mean, Jason Harrison, PDRA, Pro Nitrous, Jay Cox. These are all guys that never ran a clutch car ever.
Yeah. Well,
like,
I never have. Like,
different.
I'm the exact opposite of Pat Musi. Like,
right.
I have thousands of runs with a trans brake, and 99% of them with a turbo 400 or a power glide, right, and an automatic shifter. But I have never ripped loose of a real, like, I mean, I drive manual stuff on the street, right, but I've never let go of the clutch pedal on a drag strip ever. Never.
Yeah, neither has Jay. I told the story last week of Jay Cox. Basically, we were carrying around a clutch in our car, in our trailer, right after we made the switch over to a converter for whatever reason. Like I said, you would never put it past us to just put that thing in overnight if we were unhappy with the converter. But he said, he was like, how does this thing work as far as, putting counterweight on it, putting bass in it, just the way the how you tune a clutch compared to a converter. That's something that he's never even had to deal with.
Well, Lyle, in your deal, I swear, I think you'd adapt to a clutch. I think it's harder to go back to the owner only because of the damn where he's got the brake pedal. I don't know if you notice these new cars are all tilted over. It's attached to the clutch pedal.
Yep.
So what we made for Matt Smith drove, I think Duguay's car, we made a fake brake pedal that he could rest his foot on because he only drove a clutch overseas. He drove a little bit for the sheep. And
Right.
he almost crashed on a run, jumping on the brakes. And,
Yep.
Ricky was worried about him wrecking. And so we come up with that deal, and that worked pretty good. We put two pedals in the car. It looked like a clutch car, but the clutch was fake. But if you did put your foot on it, you had a place to rest it. You had a place if you missed it. But having that, I asked Pickle one day, I said, Jerry, whatever got you to put the brake pedal connected to the clutch pedal? Well, these guys never drove it. They're not going to drive a clutch car. I said, well, let me ask you something. If I got you a pickup truck and I reversed the clutch and the brake pedal rods, how far you think you'd get? Oh, I couldn't drive that. I said, well, I just answered your question. Make it normal. What if a guy doesn't want to drive a clutch someday?
Well, Steve Matusik, who has driven clutch cars most of his career, drove the black Pro Charge car that I started the year in an NHRA Pro Mod, and it had a dummy clutch pedal way off to the left.
There you
So
go.
For that reason.
Gas and brake were together, or where they usually are, in my opinion, and then the clutch pedal, which was a dummy and hard, was all the way to the left, and I got in the car and I'm like, that is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen, but throughout the year, like, I used it to push on to set myself back in the seat, when my dad would tighten me up. And now that I'm driving the turbo car, which doesn't have a dummy clutch pedal in it, I miss it. Like, it's somewhere to set your foot. Now I've never driven a clutch car, so I was never one to go for the clutch, whenever I go through the traps. But Steve, that's where he went. Like, after every run at the finish line, he went over to the dummy clutch pedal just because it was, he was a creature of habit. And
that car was built for Danny Rowe, right? Which Jimmy Rector tuned with a blower motor and a clutch, and I think it's kind of interesting. It's I can make a pretty good argument for all of them being built with that pedal over there, that dead pedal. I mean, I really can, to be honest. I don't think there's anything wrong with it at all. But I do think Pat's right that it would be easier to go. I think it would be easier to go from a trans brake to a clutch. It's just a much more natural thing. Like, you rev this mother up and you drop the bomb on it. Like, that's what we do. You know what I mean? You put it against the firewall and you drop the bomb on it. And I think you would have a lot easier time adapting to that than guys like Charles Carpenter, Pat Musi, Steve Matusik going the other way. We're
gonna find out in January if that's the case, and I'll let you know.
Oh boy! That's exciting.
We'll see if I can adapt to it or not.
I think you'll be fine.
I hope we see some clutch cars come back to NHRA Pro Mod. That would be awesome. I don't know if I think it feels like that ship has kind of sailed, to be honest. But it would be really cool to see.
I had a
that
conversation with Frank Manzo at either Dallas or Vegas one, and somebody brought that up. It wasn't me, but whoever was in the group that we were talking with said something about it, and obviously Frank would love to do that. He would love, but he said it's just that, like you said, that ship sailed. Like it's not in the cards anymore.
I don't.
There's no way for clutches to come back.
You definitely don't. And I'm not well. Like in Vegas, you would have had plenty of time. The show ran super smooth. We had a lot of time between rounds. But in Dallas, like we just pushed an intake gasket out from the back of the China rail, and we barely had enough time just to get the oil cleaned up and the motor service. I mean, we had zero time. If it would have hurt anything, we would not have made the call. I mean, we were late. I think it was 20 or 23 minutes or something like that we had to turn it around. So yeah, in most instances, you would not have enough time to service a clutch in one of those. But sometimes,
even if you had, let's say, had clutch packs cut and the whole deal ready to go, I don't think you could do it. Not today. It's even a street outlaw deal. It gets down towards the end, they're moving us pretty quick. So
yeah. What is the round turnaround at a street outlaw?
Well, I'll tell you, sometimes it could be an hour, but sometimes it could be a half hour. It just depends. Now, I'll tell you something that happened. We swapped the motor. I don't think them guys ever seen it. And I asked the producer, I said, how much time do we have? What do you need? I said, I need 45 minutes, but I knew we could do it in 32 minutes is our deal. Well, 32 minutes, we fired it up. Those guys could not, they never seen anything happen like that fast. A Pro Charger, Lyle, you'll know you got pipes. If you don't have a complete deal to plug in, it's a rough deal, So we have
and that's like a big thing. And just like for you guys, for us, if we've got spare bullets in the trailer, they are motor plate, coils, everything just out, in and out, but it's still, for us, it's a little bit longer than that. And I've got a great crew that can get it done in a hurry. It's a little bit longer than that for us to swap a motor, but we literally have everything plumbed and wired, ready to go, and it still takes us a little bit longer than that to swap one out. But yeah, 32 minutes.
32 minutes is
that's pretty impressive.
Our deal, that we've done it a bunch of times, but I'm anal about all my oil lines, all my hookups. Everything's identical. I'm just really, my pet peeve is I don't want anything not complete. Starter on it, cable on it. I mean, everybody knows their job and we do it.
It's interesting that just talking about spare bullets and things like that. It wasn't that long ago that almost all these cars had conventional headed big block Chevys with Pro Chargers and blow through carburetors. This has escalated rapidly. How hard, are you tearing stuff up? We hear that all the time. I think somebody said on here a couple of weeks ago, Pat went through 7 engines in Denver, and he's got 10 in the trailer. Yeah. So how hard are you guys leaning on these things, and are you tearing them up? Is that what is that how hard everybody's having to run this stuff to swap motors?
Right now, it's a little lopsided, the Pro Charger rules versus the Nitro, so we got to lean on them pretty hard. But Denver and Tucson, say it bluntly, kick my ass. That altitude on a nitrous engine, we could not get that thing happy. So we might nip a plug and they look like they're burned up. But for me, I'm an engine guy, so I'd rather swap engines and try to fix it in the car. That's just my deal. I know what's right. And we'll just do it. So it might look like we're doing it, but we traveled the 6-race deal with 2 bullets in the trailer, 1 in the car. Never used the third one. Just juggled the 2 back, tried to keep the third one out of the equation. But, I've never raced in 1974 Pro Stock. I had 2 engines. I don't get these guys. They spend money on motorhomes and trailers and they got spare transmissions, rear ends. I don't know how you could race on 1 engine doing any of this stuff.
Right.
Lyle, would you go to an NHR race with one engine?
Dude, we're not going to the Snowbirds this weekend without 2 spare bullets, you know. And to your point, you know, a lot of the times when my crew gets to the top end and we know we've had some kind of failure, like Ben Stoss will look in the header tubes, right? And he'll know most of the time whether he needs to go ahead and call back to the trailer and get the spare bullet on the crane, or if he thinks that he can, you know, make the repair between the rails. And like you said, sometimes
I'll ride down on a bike race pack chip.
Hold on, say that again, Pat. It broke up for a second. What'd you say?
I said I'll run down with the scooter, grab the race pack chip. My guys, Lizzy likes to pack her chutes down there, take her time. And if I see something in the vacuum, something haywire, or I saw a little smoke, I'm on the cell phone. Elliot, get her back here, and they're just shoots.
Lizzy packs the chutes.
In there.
She packs the chutes in the shutdown or on the return road.
Yeah, because I gotta tell you this. I don't mean this.
I didn't know that. I've never heard of that.
Fans.
Yeah, that's a new one.
Well, because we're so tight spaced, she comes back. She swarms for autographs, which she loves to do, and we just can't get it done. So she has a little.
Yeah, and you guys have the car facing. You got the car facing in, and then your chutes. You have to pretty much be out there in the crowd to pack your chutes.
It's crazy.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But we love our fans, and I'll stop whatever I'm doing. You know, most of the time to, well, almost all the time. You know, to do an autograph, do a shirt, take a picture with a kid. You know, Lizzy will do it. You know, I mean. Look, it's all
whip
about
somebody's ass, you know.
Put an ass whooping on something.
Pat's one of those. Are you looking at? Are you looking at me? You know, but you know what? That's a good idea. I was just thinking about that. She should pack her parachutes down there before she's back getting hounded by people wanting to take pictures with her and all that.
I would pack mine at the top end, but by the time you've pulled off the racetrack at an NHRA event, there's people in both doors, hats, water bottles, chutes are rolled up on the deck lit. Like, I'm like,
yeah, they do it for you.
Yeah.
I wish. Can y'all come back?
We don't have that.
Can y'all come back and tune this thing for me?
Yeah.
The TV crew's on her for an interview, and then they go over to the other car. So there's just, I mean, she's pretty quick at it. Gets them.
Yeah.
It just gives her a little quiet time, I think. I don't think there's no downside to it, honestly. You know.
No, I think it's smart. I think it's really smart.
Lizzy likes to get her hands dirty if she can. I mean, she'll jump in on a motor swap. She's, you know, they don't think she works on a car, but she's in on the graph. She wants to make calls. She wants to know what's going on. I mean, sometimes I got to tell her, Lizzy, relax, we got this. But then I realize as a driver, I'd want to know too. So I take a step back and let her explain it to her. And
speaking of Lizzy, we got her. She'll be here in just a few minutes.
She had to
download Chrome. She
better be swapping a motor or something.
She had to download Chrome because she's going to do this on her computer. So little technical glitch, but she'll be here in a couple minutes.
Okay. There, Pat was bragging on her about getting on the computer and looking at the graphs, and she's having technical difficulties getting on the live stream. You might have to retract that statement real quick.
Yeah. Is it hard for you, Lyle, to trust people, like to make the tuning call, like as a driver? Is it hard to table that and just let other people make those decisions?
No, it's not hard. Not hard for me because you know, now if we were talking about beer money or something like that, which Pete takes care of most of that as well, I'm a little more in tune with what's going on. But big tires with inerter shocks and wheelie bars and 4 links, and you know, I'm either a leaf spring or stock suspension, like, and all that. No, like it's Motec. You know, if it was up to me, Lyle, up to me, I'd look like Pat coming out of the burnout box reaching for the clutch. I think it'd lock up and stand on its nose or something.
Hey guys, can I just grab my charger? I just got to notice my battery's gonna go dead.
Yeah,
let me grab it.
Yeah, you're good, buddy.
Yeah, but I fully trust in Justin Elks and Anthony Lund for all that, because there's
take the hall pass, Pat.
You might have to go grab a Corona.
Yeah, I'm on my
Are you
third
drinking?
vodka.
Are you
Grey
drinking
Goose
water,
diet.
Lyle?
I was.
I'm drinking-
I had
I'm
a
drinking water, too.
long weekend. JT,
You're
and
catching
I'm
shit
just-
for it in the comments too.
Well,
Your reputation precedes you, sir.
I've got a.
Well, yeah, I'm
there's
gonna
a
be
dark
honest.
side
Can
of
I
me they
say
can
it?
kiss.
You know what? Yingling has done pissed Lyle and I off.
Yeah, they have.
And
And look, you know what? While you
You
say
know what?
that,
Tell
Let's
us
just
about
air
that.
it out.
I got this. I got something in the mail today, and I
Alright.
spent my own money on this. My own. Like,
Uh-oh, he's going to get it.
Yep.
Yingling. Listen, we can't
My
even
own
get
money.
them. We can't even get them to respond to messages, phone calls. I sent a fax the other day.
I've got
tried
a dude.
smoke
I've
Smoke
got a dude
signals.
that-
Yep.
And I'm actually
Yeah.
going to send it to you, Wes, and let you look over it. But I have a dude that lives up there near the brewery somewhere, and he has literally handwritten a note that he's going to leave on their doorstep for me. Like, I mean, literally, he's going to tape it to the front door of the brewery. You know, like, and I really don't know what else to do. Anytime I fire up a hey tag Yingling deal, there's at least 300 or 400 comments. You know, I mean, all this stuff, and sometimes they'll send me a message, you know, from the brewery itself, and hey man, we see it and we're flattered and blah blah blah. And at some point, I'm like, yeah,
Flattered my ass. Jump
I
on
bet-
board, boys.
I bet you are.
know,
They did.
geez.
I'll give them some credit. They did give me beer for my wedding, you know, which I greatly appreciate.
Well,
There
did
you
that
go.
come locally or from like from the factory?
No. It was one of their distributors here. They did deliver it to the venue. Like they hooked me
Well,
up.
that's
you know.
dope. Well,
But-
let's do this. Everybody tag Yingling. Lyle keeps them basically propped up
Yeah.
throughout the year. It's
And you can't do it. You
established.
cannot tag them on Facebook. They have that. Like you can type at Yingling and it'll look like you're tagging them. But when you hit post, the tag goes away, I guess, so they don't get tagged on Facebook.
God.
Hold
for
on, let
whatever
me-
reason.
Let
But
me
if you
get
go to
on
Instagram,
LinkedIn.
if you tag them
I'm
on
gonna find out
Instagram,
the
it
owner of
works.
the CEO. We need to find like the CEO of the company. Bam. I'll find the CEO and we'll all go tag the CEO. And we also, I saw Marco Philham. Hey, shout out to some regular viewers. All of y'all that watch us every Monday night, thank you for that. Those of you that watch us on Monday nights and Wednesday, reminder, the Wes Buck Show, 2 p.m. Central Standard Time, every Wednesday afternoon. Thank you guys for being a part of this. It's cool to like develop a relationship. I see Mama Sue in the house. Shout out to her. We got people that watch every week, every Monday
Yep.
night, every Wednesday. Thank you guys. We really appreciate it very much.
Kevin
And,
Stevenson, Holden
Kevin
Heath. Did you?
Stevenson, Holden Heath. Yes, thank you guys so much, man.
JT, you have to drink enough of this Coors Light here
You would think that
have
I would
some-
have
to
a
have
really
some
good
pull.
deal
So
with
maybe we
Coors
just need
Light.
to switch
It
gears.
looks like JD sponsored by Elite Cultivation.
I am tonight,
I
right?
wish
fully-
I was.
Fully branded tonight with that.
You are
Richard-
like you're
Richard-
smoking dope,
Richard's
drinking
swung
beer.
Yeah, I
Richard
just
must have
threw,
swung through La Plata and dropped something off for JT.
I know, right? Like, oh, my new best friend.
Hey, I was gonna say something earlier,
Mike,
but
you
we're
should
having
have
trouble.
dropped some Coronas over here. Liz
I know.
got the refrigerator empty.
Mike, you just said
Oh,
something
man,
about going to
Liz-
get a girl.
Liz emptied them out. Oh man, you gotta watch out. You gotta watch Liz. You gotta keep them stocked.
I was going to
Oh,
say
yeah.
something earlier, but we were having trouble with my mic. But Pat, you were talking about how Sam and everybody with the show just consistently packs these racetracks out.
Yeah.
And I've
Mhm.
been to, I came to 2 or 3 this year, and 2 that maybe I'm wrong. You traveled to every single one, and you have experienced one hotter. But Darlington and Virginia were 2 of the hottest races. That when I say hot, I don't mean like spicy or bad at. Like I'm talking about temperature outside. The hottest races I've ever been to in my
Brutal.
life, and the places were still packed. Like
Yeah.
now, I was at one point we came to the staging lanes, and unfortunately, it was when Lizzy had the crash there at Darlington, and I was strapped in. We were like the next cars to roll out. I got out, and I literally went in the bottom of the tower at Darlington and laid on the concrete floor for the 30 or 45 minutes that it took to get the track back. And every 10 minutes there was somebody coming over the radio. Hey, we need a medic here. Hey, we need a medic there. People falling out everywhere, which they were drinking. They had coolers full of beer, 0 water being drank out there. It's
That's a good
9,000
Good
degrees.
combination.
Yeah.
They
But,
were 2 hot ones. Palm Beach was hot. Well, it was pretty
Yeah,
hot
I didn't
there.
go to Palm Beach, but I mean,
Well, a lot of these tracks, though, I feel like Pat, like they've got their traditional events, probably in the spring and fall. And so at least for this year, it feels like as NPK sort of expanded their schedule and went to new tracks, that they kind of had to fill in. So they were there during the summer, and when, you know, like at Darlington, you really don't race during the summer at Darlington. So yeah, will they change some of that around in 2022, do you think?
They're talking about 19 events. I mean, that's going to be a whole
19?
Wow. 19, I heard. But you never
Man,
know.
that
It
is
could be
bonkers. That is, I mean, that's a lot of drag racing.
Well,
man.
you think about
Like-
Wes. You think about the NHRA. Like No Prep Kings event numbers went up. NHRA's going down. You know.
Yeah.
Well, and I mean, I think we're in kind of a less is more time, to be honest with you. Like, I get it, you know, but in this COVID pandemic kind of world we're living in, I think you can make a pretty solid argument for less events. Like for the NHRA Pro Mod Series, I think that makes sense. But like for No Prep Kings, man, I guess you gotta get while the getting's good, right?
Well,
I mean, if
that's what
people are lined up, I mean, I don't know.
I tell Lizzy that all the time. Yeah, while it's good, you know, let's do this deal, and hopefully she's got a new video game. I don't know if Mike knows more about it than I do, but pretty big deal for her. And
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm just happy. I mean, honestly, I do it for Lizzy. You know, I mean, I don't want to sit home, but I don't know if I need to be racing a car, but I love doing it with Lizzy. I like the fact that I taught her the whole way through, you know, and it's sometimes I feel like it's me sitting in the car.
It's working.
There she is.
There she
Hi,
is.
guys.
We
up,
battled
Lizzy?
every
like my
technical
background?
difficulty. There we go.
I know.
They thought you were going to
It's
ghost
terrible. I
us,
have no
Lizzy.
service.
Do you have
No,
dark hair
see,
now?
I made it.
Yeah.
I finally made it.
She's
Oh, yeah. I
she's
forgot.
incognito.
Oh, so now you have dark hair now.
Yeah, like my
I didn't
original
even
hair color.
recognize you. Yeah, no, I didn't.
She's gonna try
Oh,
to start
shoot.
packing her chutes at the
Ladies and
trailer instead of the
gentlemen.
top end. She had
Yeah.
to make wardrobe
So,
change.
Yeah, we were
it
talking
helps
about
me, you know?
yeah, we were talking
Is,
about you packing your
does it look
shoots
bad or
at
good?
the top end.
Looks good.
Yeah, it looks good. Is
Looks good.
Kai standing on top of the
Yeah.
house with like on the top of the hunting cabin with a antenna?
Rabbit
Like
ears.
that. Oh, there's some kids playing Nerf. There we go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Deal.
They're,
Welcome to
like,
my
moving
life. Yeah.
around. Oh, yeah. They're running around. It's great. It's pretty.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Don't
geez.
move. Don't move. Put the camera
Yeah, you
put the
should-
camera back.
shouldn't
where
have
it
Tell
was.
done that.
those kids to turn the Wi-Fi off on those Nerf guns.
Yeah.
You know,
We got your back, I think.
Yeah, I
There
know.
she is.
Yeah. That help a little bit. Yeah. Sorry.
There you
It's
go.
crazy.
Lizzy was
true.
out hunting birds at like 4 a.m. this morning.
Yeah.
So they're at
Yeah,
where
3
you
o'clock in the
where are you
morning.
guys right now?
3 o'clock.
In Arkansas?
Lizzy, they were talking about you
Arkansas.
packing your shoots at the other end. That you came up with that idea was a
Oh,
great
yeah,
idea.
yeah.
Could you
I
get a little
have-
quiet on?
It is the best idea because the people there at these events, I got a whole bunch of dog loving. So actually Kai came up with the idea.
It's a good idea, though. I think it makes a lot of sense, to be
Breaking up.
honest.
Sorry. Kai,
You know,
yeah, it makes it a lot easier because people are crazy. They want to like stop you for autographs and everything. So
We
Real
lost her
quick.
again.
do we lose her again? She's frozen up, I think.
She froze
Cajun
up.
internet. Michael Hinson said Cajun internet.
Cajun
Nah, she
internet.
said she's in Arkansas.
Yeah.
Yeah. Still
Yeah,
probably
they're
middle
in
of nowhere.
Arkansas.
I don't know if that's a step in the
I
right
don't know.
direction.
Sorry,
or not. I
guys.
think it might be a
There
step
you
in the
go.
wrong
You're back.
direction.
You're back now.
this is bad. I'm back.
Yeah, you're
Yep.
back.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see what Wi-Fi I'm hooked to. I don't want to move.
Yeah, don't move.
Crazy.
No,
Sorry,
do
guys.
not move for any reason.
No, I
Don't
don't
move
want
for any reason.
because it's working perfect. Strudel, get off me right now.
She's working with
So
the
what
dog
you guys-
catcher.
Yeah. What do you guys think about the show so far? Some
It's
drama
good.
going
Well,
on, right?
Well, we can't
Yeah.
watch it. I can't even watch it, but it's good.
You kind of have to do this
Really?
show and then you have to watch it afterwards.
Yeah, you got to watch it
Yeah.
afterwards. Yeah, you got to do
Oh,
a replay
yeah.
afterwards.
You guys gotta give me the gist of this. I don't know.
To be honest with you,
Where
I
are we?
thought
I'm
it
not
was
actually got it
it
right next
wasn't
to me right now,
nearly
so.
it wasn't nearly as
helps.
dramatic as I thought it was going to be. Like, you know,
Yeah,
Birdman and Murillo both kind of took it in stride, which kudos to those guys, right?
right.
And you know, taking it in stride, dealing with it. Obviously, there's you know, there's some beef, right, with the Swanstroms and whatnot. A lot of people were asking, like, how.
Look,
I mean, is that a serious beef for you guys, Lizzy? Is that bridge
Uh,
burning?
oh god, it's so weird. We actually weren't talking for the rest of the season after that race, but the
Oh,
last
boy.
Yeah.
race, in Bradenton, it's like we made up with each other. It was kind of weird. I don't know.
That's cute.
Kevin Stevenson wants to know why you called him a Democrat.
Oh,
Because he acts like one. He acts like a Democrat. That's why. I don't have to explain it, right?
We just need clarification.
let's go, Brandon.
Okay.
We need to start cheering.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
right. Hey, at these events, they cheer on. Let's go, Brandon.
That's right.
Yeah, I
There
heard
you
it.
go.
I heard it. I heard it in Texas.
Actually, it's awesome.
It was Doc.
So,
Doc
is
actually
the Wi-Fi
led
get messed
like
up?
a group
Yep.
cheer. No, we can hear you kind
No,
of.
you're good. You're good.
Oh yeah, yeah. Wes came to a couple events. I saw him. Right? Well, he came to 2 or 1. Trying to think.
One this last year. Yeah, one this last
Okay.
year. But it's with all this money y'all won, we need to get you like satellite internet.
I know.
We're
Yeah.
gonna get you hooked up.
Yeah.
I need a
somebody.
good Wi-Fi box to go.
Yes, you definitely
Good
need
Wi-Fi.
good Wi-Fi moving forward. Now, were you surprised? I mean, so real quick, your dad just mentioned
Yeah.
19 races. What do you think about 19? I mean, is that like for
This
you?
schedule,
Your dad
so-
just mentioned, yeah. What do you make of that?
We weren't expecting to be racing this much. This is, am I on still?
Yeah.
I don't
Yep.
see you guys. Okay. So, yeah, this whole deal, like, it's totally different. Don't get me wrong, because I do miss the pro mod racing. I mean, that's where I got started at, and I love it. I miss racing those kind of types of cars, But this schedule is pretty brutal, I mean, you're gone for 6 weeks in a row. You got to have your stuff together. I mean, things break. I mean, you got to be prepared for it. But being on the road will, like, stress you and wear you out. Totally. But we're racing, and that's what we love to do. So I can't complain about it either, We're doing what
That's
we
No,
just-
I
love.
understand.
Yeah, and plus you're doing it
Yeah.
with your dad, for better or for worse. Right?
Yeah, exactly. And doing with family. I mean, I couldn't
Yeah.
ask for anything more, Me and my dad have been doing it since I started, and I've been with him, since I was born. He's been racing. We've been racing together. So it's in my blood. It's never left me, and yeah. So I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for him.
Pat, is that part of what motivates you to keep going and kind of pushing yourself? I mean, you're racing more and working harder now at nearly 70 years old than you were probably back in the day. So how much
that's
does your
I have to give him credit, because I don't know how he does it. Like, even on the street deal, like, we'll start racing at 7:00 at night and go all the way to like sunrise, and he's going along with it, taking it like a champ. I don't know how he does it. A lot of people, even Kai was saying it actually earlier today. He's like, yeah, I don't know how he does it for his age. He just keeps chugging along, like, just I don't know. I don't
I'm
know how you
afraid
do
if
it,
I
Dad.
stop, I'll fall over.
Yeah,
it's one of those deals. Yeah, it's
But
one of
that's
those
good that
deals.
it keeps going. It's good for him. But
But
it's
it
like
does. It
after
keeps me
an event.
motivated watching Lizzy.
But
Me and
look,
Lizzy
right
keeps
after
you
an
motivated.
event, me and you, like, we talk to each other and we're like, oh, I'm so glad it's over. But then, we can't wait to go to the next one, So,
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the whatever 16 races that it was this year, did you guys just like
Yeah,
take a
that's right.
breath and go, thank goodness now we can have a little time off? And then they did move the filming of Fastest in America back to
oh
the
my
start of
gosh.
next year, so you guys kind of get the
So-
holidays off.
That's the problem with that deal. They never give us a straight schedule. It's always last minute. So we can never plan anything. Like, just now, I have to go this Friday to Vegas. I bet you my dad don't even know this right now. Go with Kai for 1 day to Vegas for some filming thing. Come back. Then they tell us when we go to Vegas, we have to get a COVID test just told us this now. Like, how are we supposed to get all this stuff? And then we got PRI coming up, so we have to be ready for that. It's just we have such a small window, and I don't know.
Did they have it booked on top of PRI at one point?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
They did.
Yeah.
They did. And I'm
I mean,
glad
that's just
yeah,
crazy,
they were
right?
gonna.
Yeah, that didn't make any
And
sense.
to be honest, I think that was a good move to change that, because it's like, man, going and like representing
Yeah.
for some of these brands that support you guys and sponsor you and
Maybe get
provide
new
product or
new
whatever.
people on board.
Yeah, man.
If
it's
you guys
a really
can look
important
at
thing.
the TV, there's Lizzy making calls on a computer, like I said.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I think you're a little bit ahead of us, Pat, or at least ahead of me.
Hold
Yeah.
on.
So
Yeah.
so we're watching Swanstrom just broke
I'm
the
watching
beams
right
Oh, okay.
against Monza.
Okay.
And then now,
Okay.
Lizzy, you're
yeah.
kind of checking out the computer with
Lizzy
What round
right now is
Adam.
was that,
looking at the
second?
computer trying to get on our live stream.
Right.
She looks
She's downloading
confused,
Chrome right there.
you know, downloading Chrome right now.
I
I'm
know.
picking on you, Lizzy.
Messed
Yeah.
up.
No, yeah, we're picking on. No,
It
it's
sucks. I wish my Wi-Fi was. I'm so sorry.
you're good.
Trying.
It's
Oh,
just
you're
some.
fine.
It's just a little behind the scenes. You're talking to Robert Hayes, Adam Drzajic. Your mom's there. You're
Right.
getting ready for the next round. I guess you've got. Who do you
Yeah.
have next? Lutz.
Who you racing now? You're racing Murder Nova right now.
Oh, Murder Nova.
Oh,
Yeah.
Murder Nova. All right.
He's right. He
Yeah.
runs pretty good. He's actually starting to get his stuff together around this race.
I
Yeah,
think he
ran
may.
well.
Do you think
He
he'll have a
actually
hot
shook
run next year?
this one.
I think he's going to be. Do you think he'll be fast next year, Pat? Lizzy?
Oh,
Because
yeah,
it
for
feels
sure.
like he was coming around.
I think that the last race, the last race of the season, he definitely had his stuff together. It was close against me and him, so
Well, he's got a
He
new
made a
car
couple
coming
I
out,
of
right?
think so.
Oh, really?
Oh, he does.
I thought
didn't
that's
know
what I
that.
saw today, is that he had a new car coming out.
Oh shit.
He's a genuine guy too. I didn't know him till
Yeah,
I
yeah.
met him there, but he's really a good guy when you get to know him. You know. And,
So right there,
Just
for
took the
those
win.
watching along right now, just tell us, Pat, what did that thing run on that run? I mean, it looks stout right there.
we honestly really can't zero in on it because we haven't been tested where we get a time slip to compare our VPS. You know, Davis.
So
has a
what did it
VPS in the
60
car.
foot?
Yeah.
We don't
What
get
did
any.
We
it
can't get
330?
this thing to 60
I'm
foot
just
worth of
messing
crap.
with you.
Let me just tell you
Say
right now. I'm
something.
gonna tell you
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I'm gonna say one
It's
flat.
fast. The car, we had a
One
fast car
flat.
there
One
for,
flat.
for altitude.
Yeah.
I think we had a pretty fast car there.
It looked fast, man. It looked fast.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
you know, altitude is not nitrous friendly, but you came to Tucson, then you go to Denver. You ran pretty well there too. We're not going to give away any more spoilers, but what do you attribute that to?
Well, Tucson gave me a little leap on it. You know, it was halfway there altitude wise. So I was better prepared for Denver. And I'll tell you right now, I'm still not 100% for Denver for next year, but we're sneaking up on it. Remember, I had a little info from being there with Jay Green. So I got him. You remember that?
What? Hey, Pat, real quick. Were you in Denver for the biggest pro mod drag race in the history of the known universe? It feels like you were. I think it was the biggest pro mod drag race in the history of the known universe. I think it's that one we put on that paid $100,000 to win. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was.
Yeah. I'll tell you
Thank
something
you for
was
that.
Pretty cool.
Who just crashed in this deal?
Holy this is a bad crash.
Yeah.
Oh,
like
that's
super. It's the Eric K. Or
Yeah.
Put
whatever.
him out for the rest of the season. Yeah.
There you are.
Man, this is getting ridiculous.
No, you're better now. I think
No,
you're
it's
better now.
now.
Yeah.
Better?
Don't-
Okay,
way
so
better.
listen to this.
Way better.
Listen. I was connected to the Wi-Fi in the motorhome.
Oh, yeah. We forgot that part.
So
we
really,
just
told him
watched.
you're on the computer looking at the graph.
yeah.
Huh? The what? What is that?
No,
guy got a
yeah.
shirt?
We're watching this Eric K. We
Eric
can't say.
K.
Yeah,
Oh,
this crash.
yeah.
I didn't know about this crash.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Man, and that dude ran really good for the
Yeah,
Mercedes.
Yeah,
He-
for
decent car,
sure.
too.
you know,
Yeah,
it
he
was just
definitely
super
did.
unfortunate to see him wreck and go out
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
He's a pretty good guy.
Yeah.
Hey, Pat and Lizzy, y'all may know, you may not know, but how many regional racers do
There's
you
some
guys
shirtless
pick up?
dude on TV. Oh, it's
Well,
Jim
I just
Hughes.
noticed that
That's
now.
Jim Hughes.
Slow.
What's he doing? Why do you have a
Well, I
shirt?
thought
Did
that
he
was
use
the
his shirt
safety
on the
guy.
fire or something?
He's using his shirt to put out the fire.
Oh, really? I didn't see that part.
Come on, guys.
Lyle, what
Stop,
were
drop,
you
and roll.
saying?
So I was asking, how many regional racers do you guys pick up when you go to the? I mean, I know like I ran a couple small tire races with you guys this year, but for the
Yeah.
most part, how many regional racers do you guys pick up that if they won on a Friday night or whatever would make the big show and race for the money for the 40 grand on Saturday or whatever it is? Do you
Like, what are you saying? You're saying who can get into
No,
the race that?
When you go to these different
local
racetracks,
races, Lizzy,
local
like
racers,
that
how many
show up.
regional or local races do you guys
Oh,
pick up track to track? Do you know?
I'd say 3 to 4 would be my guess. I don't know.
That's
What
what
do
I
you think?
figured.
Lizzy?
yeah,
That's what I figured.
yeah,
But
yeah.
I didn't
About.
know.
Are
And-
you guys? Or go ahead, Lyle.
And do you think if they go to 19 races, I don't obviously the regional racer count probably won't drop, but what do you think you're going to lose your normal group? Because I mean obviously it's a stretch for everybody to make 15 or 16 races. And I know that it sounds like going to 19 is not a huge jump, but it really is when you're talking about a 6-race stretch where you guys didn't have a weekend off. Like that's rough for any pro level team, you know.
Oh,
And I
forget
consider
it,
you
I know.
guys top tier. I know you're not maybe not the biggest budget, but you guys are a top tier team. You're a contender for the championship every year. But how many do you think you're going to lose if you guys go to 19 races?
You know, I thought we were going to lose a lot more on the 6 in a row.
Yeah.
But Lizzy,
Yeah, I
really,
thought so too.
we lost Eric, crashed.
Yeah.
I think Bird
A lot
Boys
of people
missed
stayed
one
with it
event.
though.
That's
Yeah, they made it. Somehow they made it work. Motorhomes breaking and
Yeah.
they fixed their stuff.
I mean, they
did.
thrashed.
They
Well,
hung
you
in there.
think about it, like
But I
the
hear you,
jump
Lyle.
from
19's a little different.
it is.
in
You know,
the,
and
the
but
jump from 16
Right.
to 19. That's almost 20%. People
Right.
don't realize like
well,
that's
Oh,
and
I know.
another thing
It's a
that
big
maybe
jump.
I didn't, and
Yeah.
I didn't really consider it until Pat just said it, but it's one thing, the parts attrition,
Yeah.
the runs on the race car, and all of that stuff. But one thing that a lot of people don't think about is the miles and the road
Yeah,
road
the
miles
fuel,
you put on your
the fuel to
motorhome.
get there, and yeah, that
You know,
too.
like
I mean, it
you're
costs
talking
a
about
lot.
trailer wheel bearings, trailer tires, trailer brakes, oil. I mean, there's at least. I mean, you got to think at least I change the oil in my generator on my motorhome every 50 hours or something like that. I mean, there's
Yeah, and
you've
you'll be
probably got-
constantly running it too.
yeah, you've probably got 15 oil changes on your motorhome generator alone.
Right.
If you service it like you should, you know.
Mike's
And
got
then
some shots of our new race car shop, and that's why we did it, to be able to service everything.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can show
Mike,
me
are you
the
looking
Yeah.
at the Nerf?
I will. I'll show it in a
Can
second.
you throw those up, Wes? The ones I
Yeah,
sent you
one
earlier
second.
today. Yeah,
Yeah.
Pat's got a super impressive new shop here in Mooresville. But yeah, I mean, this deal,
is that
you
the
know,
one over near the drag strip, Pat?
yeah, it is. Yeah,
Yeah.
this deal is a full-time job now. I mean, it's a career, right?
It
Lizzy?
literally is.
Yeah, and I mean, it is even for Pat, who has a successful engine building business and among other things. But I mean, if you're doing this deal, this is not a side gig. This is not I might come run a few races.
No,
This is your life at this
crazy.
point, right?
I just never thought it'd get to this point. It's
Right.
crazy, you know.
Lizzy,
And I feel like,
are you excited? Do you recognize what's happening? Like, I'm not trying to be a smart aleck. Like, I'm
no,
like,
you're good.
this is a big deal.
Absolutely.
Like I just
Yeah.
said, like your dad's watching I have a daughter. She's 7. I can't imagine what it would be like to watch her living her dreams on television along with millions of other people. Like, are you aware of what's happening? I mean, this is a really big deal.
Okay,
Is
so
it?
let
Like,
me.
we're all very proud of
It is. It's so. Thank you. I really appreciate that. It's so. It's hard for me to. Okay, so when I first started doing the Street Outlaws deal, like I didn't care about the cameras. Like I'm a racer, you know. I'm like here to. When I go to the events, I want to race. Like I don't. You know, it's first nature to me. And I don't know, when I first started doing that, all the producers, they were telling me, hey, you got to TV first before the racing. And I couldn't, you know, understand it. For like any race that I go to, it's always racing first. I mean, it's just how I am. It's in my blood. Like I take it serious, and I'm always going to take it serious because I'm here to win, and that's that. So, but overall, this show has got me to where I am right now. It's a big deal, and it's getting bigger and bigger. Like it's a huge thing. I didn't think it was gonna progress like it has, and I don't know. It's cool to see new faces come on board too because it needs it, and I don't know. It's and to be able to do it with my dad. I know my dad wasn't all for it in the beginning. He was definitely against it, and when he first came to the first race, I think it was in New Hampshire. I ended up actually winning, so it was like the cherry on top, and it kind of reeled him in to get excited about it. So he came on board and kind of started going from there. And Kai actually gave me the opportunity and brought up the whole no prep deal because it was a little rough. My dad wasn't too happy about it. It was a rough. It was pretty rough waves for us, you know, Dad, right?
Be honest,
I hear
like
you.
I love a candid moment, and I feel like we just got a little bit of a candid moment, and thank you for that, Lizzy.
Yeah.
That's why people watch this show, because we're gonna get a different version of you than
Yeah.
they're gonna get on television. Like, was there
Right.
ever a moment? Did you have to face? I'm gonna try to pull out some deep stuff here.
Go ahead.
So,
I'm all for
was
it.
there ever a moment when you had to face like, hey, my dad doesn't approve of this, and
Yeah.
I'm going to continue anyways
So-
because
Yeah, that was it was really hard for me because I started racing with my dad. My dad is the one who inspired me to do it. You know, like I started racing with him, so it was a really hard deal for me to pull the trigger to what it. I don't know how to explain it, to take that step without him. Like it was hard
It's
for
a
me.
big
Like
step.
I did not want to do. It was a risk, you know, that I was taking, and I felt in my heart. I felt like this is a shot, like an opportunity that could be good for both of us. And I just bit the bullet at the time, and it all worked out in the end. So,
like, let's be honest, like I know, because I know your dad better than I
yeah.
know you, and
Yeah.
we go way back, right? And it's like, I know there were moments like, hey, we're not talking, dad doesn't like this,
Yeah.
he's over here winning world championships, engine builder of the year,
Yeah.
he's doing big things.
Yeah.
How hard was that for you to forge forward?
It was hard. It was really hard because it's like when you're always doing something with that person, like that's my dad. I'm always doing that
Every
special
girl
thing
wants
with
to make
him,
their
you
dad
know?
happy, I think.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
I
Yeah.
mean,
And then me taking that step, like I felt like I was letting him down at the same time. But I didn't, in my heart, I didn't want to. I wanted to prove him that this will be good for us. So I didn't, I like really pushed myself to do whatever I could to make it right and do good at it. Cause I know that we could do good at it, you know? And when I first started doing the no prep thing, a lot of people, I felt like the black sheep, I guess you want to say, because a lot of those racers were looking at me as a pro mod racer, you know?
Right.
yeah.
And I mean, it took a little bit for me to get my feet wet and get used to this whole no prep racing, you know, from the tree to the surface and everything like that. And the tuning wise, capability, like everything is it's different, you know, it's a learning curve for us. But I feel like once we got the hand of it, then we can be good at it. And
Pat,
I don't know.
is it hard to hear her say that? Like,
No,
knowing,
no.
like, is it hard?
I'm glad she pushes, but I got a moment that Lizzy probably doesn't know about that I watched. You remember the Bradenton race, the $25,000 race? Lizzy won, and we came out not qualifying. A couple of people on the sideline, I could hear them chirping, you think Pat's going to go for it or he's just going to make a run? You know me, I'm swinging for the fence. So
Yeah.
Lizzy goes 62. We go right from out of the field to the pole. And I don't know if you know Lizzy, but Daddy
I've got
Dave was
goosebumps.
there. Murder Nova was there. And
Yeah,
there were
all
a
them
couple
were
other street
watching.
outlaw guys there. They were watching you. You know I could read faces. You
Yeah.
know it's pretty hard to get over on me. I'm from Jersey. I think everybody
Yeah.
knows that. And they were
Yeah.
like, what the fuck is going on? It's like, I hope
Yeah.
they don't get on here.
Oh,
You're
my
good.
God.
You're good.
See it.
You're
I
good.
mean, they've never been that fast in their life, and I mean, those cars are no joke. I mean, and they were
And I mean,
just on
you
the
guys
wall
come
and
over to this deal with that target on your back because
Right,
everyone knows
yeah.
that you're professional racers, and everyone
Well,
talks about
exactly.
Lizzy's been quicker and faster than anybody else on this show. And so
It's-
you roll in with the big rig, the good looking
Right.
cars,
We
the
hear
big
it saying our
power.
trailer's big and we
Right.
got a lot of money and all this stuff.
So
it's
how
hard,
have
but-
you guys dealt with that? And I mean, Lizzy, you touched on it a little bit in the previous question, but
Hold
what
on,
have you
I do
learned?
gotta say something. I gotta say something.
Okay.
people don't realize that my dad started with nothing and he built his name, his brand, his everything from working his ass off in the shop for hours. And not even the shop, back in the day when I wasn't even born yet. He worked on his own shit, made it happen, and that's where he is today. And people don't realize that. They think that we just grow money on trees and we got money. We're rich people and we just can toss money out of our
Right.
asses or something. I have to be serious. I'm mad right now because
No,
I'm
yeah,
tired
and
of
it's
people
good to
saying
address
that,
that.
and people don't realize how hard that man works for his stuff. So
Yeah,
He was on
absolutely.
and I'm
TV.
very appreciative of what I have, and I'm very thankful.
He was on TV before anybody.
Oh yeah, People's Court.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Gainesville,
People's Court.
81.
Yeah. No, but it's
Pe-
a,
No,
this,
and
it's,
we-
it's,
we
it's
get
a
it.
this this
Realize
is
that,
a whole
you know?
different deal. But that kind of speaks to the thing where a lot of these people, and I've been around you guys for a long time, and I know you from a different world than this world, but I've seen you guys sort of build this audience, this mainstream audience through the Street Outlaws deal. And there's a lot of people that don't know that about Pat and only
No,
see him
yeah.
as the character on TV and
On
what they know from the
TV, they
show.
really-
And the same goes for you. So how do you guys
Yeah,
deal
it's
with
so
that? And like,
weird.
what have you learned over the years? Because you came in kind of green to this whole deal,
Yeah.
vastly experienced in professional drag racing, but green to this whole deal. How have you adjusted to it? And what have you learned like about life and about dealing with people and the fans and the superstardom and all the stuff that's come along with it from being involved in this deal? How have you grown and what have you learned from everything?
Great question, Mike.
Yeah. Yeah, look, he's clapping. I don't know. It's crazy. The majority of the people that watch the show don't even know much about racing. So that was a huge deal for me. But it's weird. People really follow, like, you know, at the events, people come up and buy the merch and I'll do autograph signings. They'll come up and I don't know, just they follow our social media to a T. Like they know everything that we post, everything that we do. It's so weird. It's weird to us. So I don't know. It takes some adapting to do. Like, I don't know, with the pro nitro stuff, you know, it's more of a racer fan base compared to the show, you know what I'm saying? Like this show, it has so many different, I don't know, like, you know what
it's
I
more
do
it's
like?
more layered than traditional
Yeah.
drag racing because you
Yeah.
got to deal with, you got to be a good racer. You still got to go out there and do your
Yeah.
deal, but then you
Right.
got like
Well,
all
see,
these other
that's-
things that
yeah.
you gotta handle, and that's kind of what I've seen that you've had
The one
to kind of
thing that
adapt to.
I yeah, that I
Real quick,
I don't know. One
what's
thing
in
that
the
I really
freaking microwave?
what I got more of from
Lizzy,
doing this thing. Yeah.
What's in the microwave? Are you making like bagel
What?
bites,
You hear a
pizza
beep
rolls?
That's not a microwave.
What is it?
I don't know, but it's not a
I
microwave.
don't know.
Oh,
What
I
is
thought
that?
sure it
I'm
was
not making that.
pizza
Is there a
rolls.
beep noise?
Oh, okay, I thought I heard
So
something.
it's
There was
not me.
beeping.
Is it someone else?
Oh, no, right there.
That's
Yeah, it was.
what is that?
That might
It
be in
ain't
Pat's
me.
house or something.
No,
Liz
it's
might
not.
be.
No.
I've heard it. I've heard it the whole time.
Yeah,
There's pizza.
It sounds
Somebody's
like-
pizza rolls are done.
that is not a microwave.
Get them bitches out the
Sounds
microwave.
like a motion detector or something.
Yeah. I
Hey,
don't even
it's-
know.
Fire alarm.
Getting back to the show, we've got a shot right here.
Yeah.
You're in
Sorry,
Pat's
guys.
trailer. Pat, Lizzy, Kai, Robert
Yeah.
Hayes, all talking here. So what's going on here? What are you guys talking about? And it looks like I think
I
the
don't-
semis are coming up next. I think.
Okay.
Yeah,
Who are
yeah,
racing?
I think she runs Ryan now is the big
Yeah,
deal.
you got to run Ryan, then Kai runs.
I do got to run Ryan at this
Yeah.
rate.
Is Kai
You-
there
you-
with you?
Now.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
Kai's there.
Yeah.
All right, what's
we don't
going on
run
with
Ryan
Lion?
yet. This is still
Is
I
Lion-
don't
is,
know.
Oh, Kai's got to buy because he was supposed to race Eric, who crashed.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
So
Right.
Kai's got to buy to the finals, and then Lizzie's got to race Ryan Martin, which was a
Is that
Oh, this
a-
looks like a
I
hot
think-
rod run right there. This is a good,
Yeah.
pretty good run.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So it's yeah, think about it for this race right here. So that was a hard deal for me. That Darlington coming out with the new car. Robert Hayes put his heart and soul into building it, and that happened. That was, and Darlington's one of my favorite tracks. So I wasn't expecting that. We were trying to learn the car, trying to figure out a tune up for it. we literally almost had like a pro nitrous tune up in that thing, and it just is not good for a no prep surface. It got out there, it hikes the front end up, and it was going left. I got out of it. It was just too late. It just happens too fast. When you're doing this long enough, it's gonna happen. So it happens to the best of us. Ricky Smith, Stevie Fast. I mean, it happens to us.
Yeah, I would say
I've been upside down,
every
on
single
fire, you name it.
if you do it enough.
Yeah.
Like you said, this is actually only round 3, so we skipped ahead a little bit. So
okay.
I see Ryan coming up next, but I don't think that you're racing him in this round. So
No,
sorry.
I ran him in the semis.
Yeah,
I don't know.
we try not to get ahead, but everyone kind of knows what happened at these deals. These deals are not as closely guarded as what happens on the actual street show. I mean, if you follow it close enough, you see it on social, we send press releases.
You do
out,
run
all
them now,
kinds of
Lizzy,
stuff.
I think.
So
on my deal, you're gonna run them now.
Yeah, we're gonna run them now. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Lizzy in the 3rd round.
You see it?
Yeah.
Are you watching it?
Yeah.
And that
It's a
guy
good
right there,
race.
Adam, has been such a big help to us. Him and Kai have been helping us out a ton. So we got a good little team effort going on. Just kind of molded perfectly.
If you had to race somebody for the championship, Lizzy, who on the Street Outlaws cast would you want it to be? Like, who, if you had to, you're in Bradenton, final race, you're tied in the points, winner wins the championship, who do you want in the other lane? Who's someone you love to race?
And Pat, the same question to you after Lizzy answers.
It's always Ryan, because he's always the one that's a pain in the ass to beat.
That's a great answer.
Yeah, I have to say.
Pat?
Well, I want to see her and Kai, run it
Or
off
Kai, yeah. Ryan or Kai. Because Kai's right up there with us. So.
Yeah, there, Lizzy.
We're head to head. We're like.
So hopefully this question hadn't been asked before I got on.
Oh my God, I never seen this before on TV. When we beat Ryan, everyone's freaking out.
Yeah.
But
it's awesome.
Lizzy was talking about the fans earlier, and the few races I've ran, they are in like a league of their own. Like they're just different fans. But I see some of the questions come across, or the comments, should I say, when you and Kai run each other, or
that was a good
whether it's
race.
a final or a semi, whenever you guys do run. But I see it all the time. Well, Pat's always going to make sure that Lizzy outruns Kai. It's all the time. Like, Daddy's going to make sure that his girl wins. So
you always hear
when you guys do end up running each other, I guess this is more geared towards Pat. Obviously, I know Lizzy's your daughter. You want to see her win. From a business standpoint, I mean, I see this in Pro Nitrous conversations when you guys were running Pro Mod.
Yeah.
How do you go about that, Pat? You have an I don't give a shit attitude, which I love. You don't give a shit what anybody thinks. You're going to put the tune up in the car that you think is going to go down the racetrack. But as a team, how do you guys handle that when it's Lizzy and Kai in the final round at any given event?
We kind of separate ourselves a little bit, if you can understand that. In other words, we might agree to run 5 stages instead of 6, so we don't kill our stuff. Both the same deal, and the driver wins.
Yeah.
But they're racing. I'm telling you, they're racing. The races are close.
Yeah.
Kai
But are you talking about who's got better stuff and who don't?
Well, those are the comments that I see
you hear it a lot.
Yeah,
you hear it a lot.
Lizzy's got the better motor. She's got the better tune-up.
All camps go through it, right?
Right.
Like,
Yeah, I'm sure.
But it's really two different. It's 2 separate programs, though. I mean, really, Kai runs his deal, puts his program together. But I mean, they do have the same horsepower.
But to the general No Prep Kings fan, Lizzy and Kai, which I saw that rock on that finger whenever you were on the big screen a while ago there, Lizzy, show that thing off. But to the general No Prep Kings fan, they know that Lizzy and Kai are engaged, or were dating early in the year, now are engaged, and they both run Pat Musi Power, and to them it looks like that they are just giving Lizzy the better equipment, the better tune-up, right? I mean, real race fans and racers know that that's not the case, but to the general No Preps Kings fan, that's what they think. And I know that because of comments that I read, and
it's
hear around the racetrack.
We hear it all the time, Lyle. We struggled with it in Pro Nitrous, and the good thing about No Prep is a lot of it is power management. I can go out there with all the power in the world and can't make it down.
That's right.
Right,
So
that is
you got to
true.
tiptoe,
Mhm.
you know. So it's an even playing field, you know. I mean,
Yep.
any given day, either one of them can win. It's just,
That's right.
you know,
Yeah.
it's racing. It's, you know, there's a little bit to be gained on a tree, but typically they leave about the same. And, you know, we've been able to put a run together when we run them, but we've only run once this year, I think, or
Twice.
but
Here in
Yeah.
Colorado.
One time in a final, right?
Yeah.
We can't give it away yet, though.
No.
But
It's so
you
hard
know,
because we still post
Wes,
stuff
you're
about
muted.
it.
Wes, you're
Yeah.
muted.
Yeah.
Pat,
Yeah.
do you
We,
make
we
four-link
post about it.
changes? Do
What?
you
I
make
was,
four-link changes? Do you make shock changes, Pat, or is it all timing?
It's generally
Ignition
timing, power management. Yeah, we try to timers.
So you have like a
when we apply it.
baseline four-link setup. You're not changing. Shock settings, by and large, you're not changing. Rear of the car. So you're not making big bar changes or anything like that.
No,
no,
but it took us
no,
a while to find
no.
that sweet spot that
Right.
made it work. You
But
know?
I'll tell you something that just kind of dawned on me. You know, I'm a little bit leery of running the tune-up. Let's just take Guy. Like I don't want to. Even Guy came to me. He said, "Look, if my stuff blows up at 600 feet, I'm good with it if I get the wind light." So, you know, I'm always afraid to blow some. Me, I'm not. I'm an engine guy. So a lot of times it looks like Lizzy's faster, but I got that thing on tilt. I mean, when we run Ryan, you can bet your life it's on
Yeah,
tilt.
Lizzy's
So, I mean,
talking
I
about
know
it right now on the show. She's at the chip draw
Yeah.
going to the semis, and Boosted said, "What'd that feel like?" She said, "Candles were lit, and anytime we're
Yeah.
against Ryan, we're trying to kick his ass." So that's what they're going
Yeah.
into right now.
You know, Lizzy, I'm
know,
a ordained
we-
minister. I can get this wedding done at PRI. Right.
Oh, really?
We can do it.
I am
we can do it-
too.
We can
I
do it
am
right
too.
at JW
Oh,
Marriott
damn,
Lounge.
guys.
Yeah, there you go.
You know, about 3 a.m. when we're all
Hey,
rolling
hey, don't
in.
give Sam any ideas,
Another
man.
year.
Sam Corcus will be at PRI ready to
Oh,
film.
my gosh, that guy.
Just take 30 minutes right at the end of the DI party, right on the stage in front
There
of
we go.
There you go.
everybody.
Perfect.
Oh, there we go.
Perfect setup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Lizzy, are you coming to the party? That was a big question earlier.
Am I invited?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're invited. We'll see if we can
I
get
don't
you
know.
in there.
Give me an hour. I'm thinking about it.
Oh shoot. Come on,
No,
man.
I'm just joking. No, I'm just joking. Of course you are. Hey, I got two questions. What was it? How has it been? I asked your dad this before you came on, and of course your dad blew me off. Didn't give me any sort of answer. He's Pat Musi. He doesn't give a shit about
Yeah.
anything. No, I'm just joking. But like, is it hard for you to watch this show not knowing what they might show or how they might make things look? Because we
Yeah.
hear that all the time, that like you don't really know how you're going to be portrayed.
Be
You don't
portrayed.
know if you're going to
Yeah.
be are you a good guy tonight? Are you a bad guy tonight? You know,
I know.
I'm curious, has that been hard for you to stomach?
Yeah. You know, it's really bad that I don't really get a chance to watch the show. So
Right.
really nervous
Even
how
tonight.
they do put this stuff out, you know? Yeah, right. Exactly. I don't know. I just try to be
And
myself.
I
That's the
answered
easiest
you
thing in life. Just be yourself.
I know, I was just
I don't
giving you a
know.
hard time.
No. I get it. What? No, seriously, you can ask me anything. But what? He's
No,
got
no,
no
no, your
filters,
dad
so
was
They
saying-
love it.
Yeah, no.
Huh?
Well, like Pat doesn't like. If you compare and contrast the characters, Pat's this hard-nosed guy that's been around the block, and he doesn't care what anybody thinks of him. But I think of you as like a young woman being shown to the world in a male-dominated deal. Like you never know how are they gonna make you look how, and I just can't imagine what it would be like. Like for me, we do this show and we put ourselves in front of people.
It's how,
And
hey,
we-
JT, it's kind of how Wes makes us out to be. You know, like we got to be
Yeah.
the bad guys.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
used to that.
Yeah, right.
Then
Yeah.
I just turn
But
it
like
around. I just go,
we
hey.
hear about it.
Yeah. Sam's, I don't
You
know.
know-
Because I felt like they've done a good job putting me out there the way they have been. The one thing that I gained from this show that I love a lot is the woman following and the little girl following. That is
Yeah.
like has been awesome. Like a lot of people have been looking up to me, and I get messages on Instagram a lot. I actually just got one recently. A little girl, actually, she just started hunting. She's like, look, I just got my first deer. Like, I guess inspire other women to just do what I did. I don't know, even with the racing stuff, and I don't know, I love it. Like, I experienced some crazy like stuff like during autograph sessions. Like, I actually had a girl come over and she wanted to take a picture so bad, and she started crying, and that was huge. That touched me big time. So that just tells me that I touch people
You're
that
blessed.
way, Yeah.
Yeah, and we're blessed, like one of my favorite lines is drag racing is something that we get to do. We
Right.
get to do. Like,
Mhm.
there are tons of millions of people that would trade places with any one of us on the screen right now.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like, you have to remind yourself of that, because it's easy to become like kind of numb to what's going on. Like, I want to show this off. Like, it's like Pat's new shop, your guys' new shop. I want to show this off to everybody. Like, there are people that would sell their soul for a race shop that looks like the Musi family
That
race
place
shop.
looks good, Pat.
Yeah, it
You know
does.
what I mean? And it's
That's
like,
awesome.
and you have to remind yourself of like how lucky we are to get to do this, right?
Mhm. Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. For sure.
But like Lizzy said, and I'm not regretting anything. It's 50 years.
Yeah.
I've been doing this. It took me
Harder.
Yeah, I
all
know.
this stuff
Yeah.
and get it done, and
There's some. Yeah.
just nonstop, pedal to the metal. I feel like
Yeah.
I've been going, but I wouldn't trade it for nothing.
And being able to
mean-
capitalize on the opportunity too. I mean, kind of what you built for all those 50 years and being out there, and then
Yeah.
Lizzy, just the way things worked out, and you kind of starting to make your name, and then getting the opportunity to
always
take
wanted to
something
take-
and run with it.
Right. I always, in the beginning, when I first started racing, I know my dad was totally against it, but I always wanted to take racing and bring it to a whole nother venue, like reach other people, like other other industries. Like, I want to make racing widespread, like,
Bigger.
Bigger.
Yeah.
Say it again.
Well, I mean, it's like
And
we've
this
talked
is
about,
definitely
like,
an opportunity
this
to
has
do
done
that.
that.
I think you're well on your way to doing that. You're probably doing that on a more grand scale than some of the NHRA champions, because they're reaching that traditional racing audience. Nothing against those guys or that deal, but you're reaching a whole different audience. Video
Mhm.
games, this deal on TV, just a much more mainstream audience.
And it's
Yeah,
like,
oh,
we've
yeah.
been saying it for a long time that we needed someone to come along and make drag racing popular, make it fashionable, make it
Right.
cool to have like a
Yeah.
hot rod car,
Yeah.
and I think that you guys have done that. Like, I point to Street Outlaws and No Prep Kings as the tip of the spear for car culture and racing culture. Like, that you guys are making it cool to do this stuff, and I'm very appreciative of it. I think it's a fantastic thing. And like, if I look at our
Thanks,
sport
Wes.
right now, there's like 440 drag strips in the United States right now, active
Yeah.
drag strips. I mean, our sport is doing really, really well. And I don't know, man. Dodge is making 700 horsepower street cars. Chevy's making 650 horsepower street cars. Dodge is putting out a truck that makes horsepower and car culture. This is a good
Yeah.
time to be involved with our sport. And I think Street Outlaws and No Prep Kings has contributed to that at a very high level, perhaps more so than anybody else.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah,
Oh,
we
yeah.
just Kai just took out Swanstrom, said he just took
And
his
you're gonna
snitching
run
ass out. And then yeah, and now you got to run.
I think
Will
Will
Hoyt.
Hoyt said he almost had me, so let's see this.
Yeah, let's check this out.
Boy,
So,
that
I
thing
mean,
was fast, Lizzy. There.
We're getting some comments in here about Kai. Kai's been doing this a long time. He's one of the OGs of the deal. What have you learned from just as far as racing in this style of racing from Kai? And then when you're watching him race, or you guys have to actually compete against each other, what's that like, or what's going on behind the scenes between you guys when you've got to line up against each other?
It gets tough because I'm competitive and he's competitive, so it's like, it's hard. It causes some waves. I don't know.
Woo.
It
There's
took a
Lizzy
while.
packing her shoots at the
like,
top
get
there.
Doing her
it done,
shoots.
guys.
See, I mean, you guys are
hard.
hugging. I mean, you
It's
guys
hard.
got each other next round now. But it kind of seems
Yeah.
like all right, we're not friends until after the end of this next round.
It's funny because he's like, I could listen, like real quick. I can see Kai back in the pits, like, hey, I met a real nice girl in the shutdown. You know,
Yeah,
never,
right.
you know, like he literally acts like he just met you down there.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
weird.
right.
It's so weird. It's really hard about this whole situation with racing Kai. I don't know. It's hard because he's in for the championship, and it was a hard deal for us. We
Yeah,
didn't
so
know
that
what to
doesn't
do
even
about it.
that doesn't come into play as far as where he's at in the
Yeah,
championship
it's
and where
hard.
you are.
It's really hard because we weren't able to run good, and I really didn't want to. It was a hard deal. We didn't know what to do at that point. So
Oh, I think coming into
I
this
don't know.
event, you were 11th in points, but I think by the end of this race and a couple more races where you did pretty well, you were in the top 5 in points. So it's kind of hard to say, you know, hey, I'm gonna you know lay down while you take the win so you can stay up in points because
Yeah, I know.
you ended up right up there. So
Well, I said it before.
Yeah, because it was in the middle of the season, so
Right.
so we had a lot of races left, but it was a tough deal regardless.
I kept saying that there's a double points race at the end of the deal. It's still
Yeah.
possible until it's still possible. We're racing. I just couldn't, you know, she had a chance to win that event. I just couldn't do it. I mean, it wasn't fair to the crew, to Lizzy, to nobody, you know. So we raced it. And
Yeah. hmm
so, and I mean, it is what it is. I mean, we're out there racing. So what can I say, Lizzy? I mean,
Yeah,
you
I know. It's hard.
here it comes. I guess
so he's saying,
everybody
Yeah,
yeah,
we're
yeah,
watching.
we talked, we're not gonna blow our motors up, but we're gonna race it. So that's basically
Yeah,
what
yeah,
Kai
we
just
both
said.
agreed to run on 5 and just run the race.
That's a new T-shirt, Mike.
Yeah,
Get that
run on
design
5.
done. Run on 5.
Run on 5. Yeah.
We're gonna hey, listen.
We'll
we're
get Lizzy to
friends.
sell that
I
thing.
care
and
about
we'll be
you.
Yeah.
rich.
Let's just go
Let's
ahead
just
and run on 5.
Yeah.
Let's run on 5. All right.
If you've
run on
seen
5.
Lizzy's
Shirts
merch
made.
line, if you've seen Lizzy's merch line in any of these races, we want her selling it.
Unfreaking believable.
Well, I will tell you, I gotta let the cat out of the bag. So I beat
Walk the dog on him.
Yeah,
Walk
pull
the
away.
dog on him.
I beat Don Nicholson at
Sorry,
81 in the same lane that Lizzy ran in.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
so I was
yeah,
pretty
Tucson.
You probably remember what you were on the tree when you ripped loose of the clutch.
Probably.
Early numbers.
Well, I know I
Probably.
went
Split.
826 to
There you see.
Dino Don's 823. Beat him on a whole shot.
Unbelievable.
Oh, you beat him on a whole shot?
Beat him
Oh,
on a
God.
whole shot.
What a story.
Unreal.
That's awesome. Sandbagging for love.
Sam, oh Lord.
Lizzy
There
and
you
Pat.
come.
That's
There you come
hilarious.
back up the track here, driving back up the track. Is this a?
I do
this
like
driving
that they
back
do
up the
that.
track thing.
I like
Huh?
that they do that.
Agreed.
Yeah, it is pretty cool.
That is cool.
Does everybody do that, or just you
Make it-
guys?
Everybody.
Just the big
No,
show.
they all
That
do
wins.
it.
Just the big show.
Whoever
right?
wins,
I mean,
they
just
got-
Lizzy.
Well, they
Like,
didn't let me drive back up the track when I won small tire, so I'm a little bit disappointed about that.
Oh, really?
No, I asked them if I could, and they're like,
The
"No, you can't do that."
Yeah, I guess the invitational, they make it a big deal about.
Yeah,
it.
you gotta get it. You gotta get into that invitational. I'm gonna
there's
get a
the
T-shirt
Coronas.
made that says "I'm in the invitational."
Invitational, yeah.
Hey, Lizzy, what was it like coming back?
I'm in the
Future
invitational.
street outlaw.
This deal,
Yeah.
I mean, this had to be a roller coaster. So you
It-
got a
it
new,
was.
you come out with aftershock,
From
then you come out with a new
crashing-
car, crash the new
yeah.
car, then you get engaged, then you're back out with aftershock, and then you come back out first race like this. You didn't even go.
Yeah.
I don't think you guys tested with.
Not one.
No,
No,
we
we didn't
didn't.
even test. We went
Not a
straight
You
test.
went
to
right
race.
into this deal and we win the race. So I mean, what was that like?
I don't. I feel like you have a bunch of bricks lifted off your shoulders.
Yeah.
Number one.
You went on an ass whooping spree there for a minute.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I thought we were gonna pull that 3 in a row thing again, but that's all right. We still did good. I mean, we have a lot of good people behind us that's been helping us, and I don't know. It was a rough situation for us. Like from crashing, like you said, and then struggling and running aftershock. That car is a mess to drive. I was struggling big
Shit
time about
box.
all these. could do is try to get some points.
Shitbox.
And yeah, shitbox.
So
But
so
that
then they
car
go.
That's
ended up
its
getting me 3
nickname.
wins in a row. I don't know how it did it, but
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. But then, getting engaged and coming back out with the car and not testing, not knowing what it was going to do, and then end up winning the event. That's a huge deal. Really huge
Yeah,
deal.
it's
It's a good comeback. So
pretty badass.
We've had the question
Yeah.
a couple times in the comments. Is Trisha going no prep racing?
I don't know.
We
She
really
was
don't
talking
know.
about it.
Don't know.
I think Mike is busy with his house stuff, and he can't really afford to travel. But they'll make whatever ones they can, is what I hear. But,
There was a great
tough.
question
Like I
a second
said,
ago. Where's this at? I'm gonna scroll up, and it was and I'm gonna ask both of you guys, Pat and Lizzy. And this we're winding down here. The
Yeah.
show's ending. Again, I want to thank
Thanks,
everybody.
Tom.
Holy crap.
Tom Faulkner,
Everybody
sorry.
that has
Hey,
watched,
Tom.
Tom from Lucas Oil in the house.
Yeah.
A couple of
Hey,
things I want
Tom.
to ask you guys before we let you guys go.
Okay.
Is there anybody from PDRA or NHRA that you would love to see show up in No Prep Kings action? Like somebody that you think would fit with what's going on over here?
we got one guy in the middle here with his hand.
Yeah. Lyle would be a good fit.
How do you
I'd
feel about
say-
nitrous, Lyle?
Yeah, right.
Dude, I don't give a shit what
yeah,
it is.
yeah, that's right.
Pat can bring out the old green car with a clutch pedal in it, and I'll run it on 5 kits only. Whatever Pat
There you
chooses
go.
to do, and I will freaking do it.
Long time.
There you go.
Oh
Pat,
my
it may
God.
take me a few races to figure it all out, but we'll get
Hey,
there.
you've been doing a killer job, buddy. Seriously.
Thanks, dude. Thank you.
I've
I
been
appreciate it.
keeping up with you, and you've been doing awesome.
Thank you.
So proud
Yeah,
of you.
Lyle,
As well.
congratulations. I tried to
Thanks,
post
Pat.
what I could, but good
I
job.
appreciate it. Hey, Lizzy, well, you can tell us after the show when the wedding is, but would it be frowned upon if we crashed it?
Lyle really wants to know. He wants to get this on the calendar.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really
man.
I don't really care to see the ceremony. Nobody really does.
I'll leave
you
that
know,
up
but
to you
and I don't
guys.
even care to eat the food. But me and JT just want to come. We'll even bring our own cooler.
I love
I
reception.
just want to come drink.
I
All
love
right,
reception.
there you go. All right, November 19th. There you go.
November
Next year.
19th.
Yeah.
Oh, next
All right.
year. Oh,
You got a
wow. You
year,
got a
guys.
year. Kai's going to be broke. If you give a woman a year to plan a wedding,
Yeah.
that's a long time.
Bad
That's a lot of
choice.
runway.
Yeah.
A lot
Trust
of runway
me, you
to
don't
spend money.
understand right now. I'm stressed out about it. Right?
Either that, or
Oh, boy.
if Pat keeps giving one-sided tune-ups, they won't make it that long when Lizzy whipped the guy's ass.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh.
Oh man, that's bad.
Just kidding.
Okay, here's what I would do.
Good one.
I would, if I was Pat, I'd be like, Lizzy, tell him we're only gonna run 5.
Mhm.
Just
Right.
tell him,
Just say it.
give him a kiss on the cheek, and then we'd run 7.
I'm gonna see if he really
We'd
loves my
wide- we'd
daughter right
plumb
here.
two
Extra
more.
one on the steering wheel, you know?
Yeah,
Yep.
The
we would
extra
plumb
button.
2 more.
Yeah.
All right, last thing. I want to throw this at Pat and Lizzy
Yeah.
real quick. Everybody that's been watching and being a part of this deal, I think this is the 6th or 7th week in a row. We've been live on Monday night. Our show every Wednesday
cool.
afternoon, the Wes Buck Show, 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. Thank you. Click like, click subscribe, follow us on Facebook, on Instagram, subscribe to the YouTube channel. We truly believe that we're doing what needs to be done for the sport of drag racing. It's easy to be excited on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but we've got to keep the fire burning, keep that fire stoked through the week. And we truly appreciate you guys for being a part of this. So thank you. All of you, Clifford, I see you just diving in, Kevin Stevenson, everybody that watches this show every week. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I speak on behalf of everybody. Thank you very much. Pat, Lizzy, real quick, we just saw Tom Bogner from Lucas Oil in here. I know
Yeah.
Robert Hayes. There's been a lot of people that have contributed to the success of all this. Lizzy, I'll throw it to you first. When you think about where you're at, in your career and all that has happened, can you name some names of people that have helped you get to this moment?
Yeah, definitely. My dad for sure. Man, there's so many people. I like my mom, and even Frank Brando gave me the opportunity to race Pro Nitrous car for
King Kong,
several,
right?
Yeah, for several years. And all my sponsors that had my back. Edelbrock's been with me since I started racing, and Lucas Oil's been with me since I started racing. So having good loyal sponsors help. I mean, couldn't do it without them, you know. And I mean, I have a lot of people over the years that, you know, gave me words of advice. You know, even Ricky Smith, he was the one who signed my license. Him and my dad was the one who
How
signed my
awesome is that?
license. Yeah, pretty cool. And even Stevie Fast, like when I first started racing, and you know, I had that blue car and had that wreck, and you know, I thought that was it.
Yeah,
I thought I was
everybody
done.
remembers Bristol. That was a rough
Yeah,
moment. Yeah.
and I was like, I guess I'm done. You know, like and then that whole Anderson Cooper show, that Fox
Oh
News
yeah.
thing, they called me, and then it started a whole nother wave. And the car owner wanted to continue on, and we got a pretty good car, and then I did pretty good with the Top Sportsman, and then we rolled on into Pro Nitrous. But Stevie was always, he always gave me words of advice, and you know, he's always telling me, every time you get in the lane, just you gotta crush that guy in the other lane. Don't even think about who cares who's out. Just crush him. Like, I always have that in my head all the time. So I don't know. Just remember like little things that people tell me over the years, and you know, I've been racing with, even like in Pro Nitrous, I've been racing with people that have been doing it for years. Like, you take words of advice from them, just a little here and there, and I don't know. Very thankful. But I didn't go to no school or anything. I learned from my dad. He told me everything. I learned the hard way, but it was worth it.
It's been fun to watch.
That's awesome.
Pat, you've very similar thing, right? I mean, you talked about some of the guys you raced with. People don't maybe understand that. I mean, you were a part of the very early days of pro stock racing, and you've been a part of this sport for so long. It's unbelievable. Are there some people like Lizzy just mentioned that have been a big part of where you are today?
I mean, the growing up part, I mean, Bill Jenkins, Ronnie Sox, Roy Hill. Ricky came a
Roy
little
Hill?
later. He was always tough. I mean, God, I mean, so many of those guys. I used to get called a kid. Can you imagine? Now I'm working with the kids, but you know, I was in my 20s. They were all in there for Glidden. Glidden was a really great guy. You know, I miss him. You know, we used to talk a lot. Glidden was a pretty good fan of mine. You know, saw me young. He liked work ethic. If you had work ethic, he'd talk to you. If you didn't, he'd run from you. But you know, and that was all the guys I learned from. And you had to work. I mean, I could remember going in Don Ness's 64 hours of work straight to make it to the next race with a new car. That was a record for us, you know, but we just did it, you know, just nose down. But I was in my 20s, so it was a little easier. It's a little tougher.
Did Don Ness build you a car?
Oh, I had I probably had 3 or 4 Ness cars. One of the Monzas was a Ness car, my Camaro, you know, but he was tough to deal with. You know, he'd take your deposit and move it from car to car. Well, that didn't work well with me. So we got our car, but make a long story short, we kind of cut his crap out and got the car, and that was the end. And then I went to Jerry, and I never looked back from Jerry. Jerry's really busy right now, and Robert's local for this one-off deal. It's hard for Jerry to do that, but he supports Lizzy like you can't believe. I mean, he's a fan. He's like an uncle to her, you know. I mean, always wants to know how she's doing, you know. Jerry's been great. You know, we tried to get everything we could, all the parts for the new car from him, and he helped us along the way. But Robert, you know, like Lizzy said, put his heart and soul in that car. But everybody knows the story now. She took it from 45 days crashed to the winner's circle 45 days later. I don't know many people can do that, you know. So.
No, not a whole lot, and not a whole lot, man. It's a pretty spectacular story, and I just want to thank both of you guys. Lizzy, thank you so much for spending a little bit of your evening with us.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Say hey to Kai, Pat.
Definitely
seriously,
will.
man, you're always willing to play the part. I got to tell you guys, both of you, I think you've done a fantastic job of leaning into it. I can't count the number of times, and Mike and JT can attest to this, that we've called a racer and been like, hey, man, we want to do an interview with you, and they don't have time. right?
Yeah,
They don't.
I,
They don't.
I,
They
and
don't
I
have
felt
time to
bad
talk.
because I was supposed to do it a couple of times, and it was like I don't know.
No,
if it's during the race
I'm
season,
saying no, you're good. I appreciate what you guys do, Lizzy, Pat, because there are so many racers out there that don't know. Unfortunately, if you want to make it, if you want to have sponsors, if you want to have a line
Yeah,
at
you
your
need it,
t-shirt,
yeah.
Shaq, you've got to do this shit.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? You have to do this stuff.
Exactly.
You have
Yeah.
to
You
engage
got
the
to give
masses.
back, you know.
You do, and I appreciate both of you guys. Pat, 10,000 interviews you've probably done with us over the years. I appreciate every single one of them, brother, more than
I
you know.
remember when you
Lizzy,
first started,
this
Wes.
yeah, man, it's not been that
I
long ago.
know.
Trust
Seriously,
me.
you've been
It's
doing awesome too. Like you built something out of nothing. I mean, you started
nothing,
small
man.
and got
Yeah,
big. Seriously, so.
and
good
it's
for you.
funny because I relate to this story. I went to college for 14 days and thought,
Really?
opening a U-Haul
I went
dealership
for
would
one
be a
day.
better
Sounds like
decision.
me.
Yeah,
I
no,
went
and
for
it's
like a couple days of college. That was it.
yeah, I mean, it was fun for like a hot minute, but I thought, you know what? I'm
Didn't
going to
work
open a
out.
U-Haul dealership and it's going to be way better.
You
It
should
turns
have
out
stayed
it
till
was
they
a
kick
drag
you
racing
out.
magazine.
You need to party until they kick you out, and then you go to the next college.
Oh, okay.
I
I
That's
made
how it
one
works.
day.
Yeah.
I got to orientation, and when the guy said, "This isn't like high school. You're paying to be here. So if you don't want to be here, you don't have to be here." And I was gone.
Yeah, I'd be like, oh, what?
Yeah.
Killer. Yeah,
You have to
no,
say
yeah.
it again.
fantastic. Well, thank you guys
Well,
both,
man,
Pat,
didn't
Lizzy,
know
for being here, man.
2 months.
No
More than you know.
problem.
Thank you,
Thank
guys.
you for having
I
us.
want to
Yeah.
thank all our fans, Les. We can't do it without our fans. And
Yeah.
I hope this snow prep deal is. I just think it's good for our whole sport in general, and I hope
Definitely.
we're contributing
It
to it.
is.
So
It's the best thing going right
thank
now.
you, guys.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know?
100%. Thank you
Thank
guys.
you guys very
Yeah.
much.
Thank you.
All
We'll
right,
see
ladies and
you
gentlemen.
guys
See y'all.
in PRI, right?
Oh yeah.
We'll see you
Oh,
next
yeah.
week.
Yeah.
We invented PRI. No, I'm just joking.
It should be
Uh,
like party racing industry or something like that.
Yeah.
Right?
That's what it
Yeah,
ought to be.
it's gonna be.
That's a T-shirt.
That's the
Party-
only reason
That's a
JT and I
t-shirt
go.
Oh, it's a T-shirt. It's a T-shirt.
Yeah.
That's a
Hey, Lizzy,
great
I think you
idea.
should give one.
Lizzy-
of them
Lizzy's a
ride in,
T-shirt
Let's
factory.
party. Yeah. Yeah.
Lizzy,
Partying
I think
on
you should
six
take one of
kids.
them
New
for a
line
ride
coming
Yeah.
in the Gone
Huh?
Girl
Oh,
car.
yeah. Norma Jean. Yeah.
It'll be there. It drives
Right.
street legal. Give one of them a ride.
Oh yeah. Make
We're
it
just
hit while we're at it.
We're just gonna
No,
run
we'll
on
make
5
it.
until
Yeah.
Saturday night.
Well,
Let's
that's
run on
only got
5.
one on it. That car,
What?
so you're in luck.
Big. I think that Lizzy, you're gonna have some appearances at PRI, right? Like I'm sure you'll be in the Edelbrock booth.
Yeah, but I
Um,
don't think I have any signings anywhere. Oh well, Stand 21, I think, but I don't
Oh,
know.
very cool. Well,
That
you
was
know,
a new
to-
thing. I'll just bring it up. I actually just got a new deal. Like I'm actually an ambassador for them this coming year.
very cool.
Well, the new
very
year.
cool.
Yeah, that was a really big deal for me. So
Well,
normally
just
I
so
don't
you know,
really get a. Yeah.
just so you know, kind of send it around. Mike, JT, and I will be signing autographs at the Red Line Oil booth.
Really?
On Thursday.
We'll see if we can get you
we'll be
one,
signing-
Pat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you guys want to swing by,
I gotta-
we'll also be
yeah.
signing autographs at Stroud Safety, and a few of our other sponsors. We're up here doing big things.
I
You know
like
what I
it.
mean?
I like it.
No, I'm just playing. But seriously, thank you guys so much again to everybody who
Thank
wants.
you, guys.
Listen, what the hell is
Yeah, I
that
appreciate
beeping?
it. I don't know.
It's
I
the
wish
door,
I
I
knew.
think. I think it's alarm on
Yeah.
the door.
It
Yeah.
could be.
They haven't figured
it
out in the
is, yeah.
comments yet, so we'll never figure it out.
I think it
Alright,
is because they opened the door. That's
Yeah.
probably what it is. Maybe.
I've heard that
okay.
sound. You go in the back
Thank you,
door.
guys.
That goes to the front door.
Yeah.
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 Thank you guys.
Later,
Seriously,
y'all.
Lizzy, thank you very
See
much.
Thank you.
Pat,
No
thank you
problem.
very
Hey,
much.
you guys.
Thanks,
guys.
Before we go, you guys see my old Coke machine, huh?
Oh my
Oh
god.
yeah.
You got to show
My
us the
little-
whole collection. For
Yeah,
everybody that
Pat's
knows,
got a
Pat
lot of-
has more Coca-Cola stuff than anybody on the planet Earth.
Yeah, he does. My mom's
Don't you-
obsessed with it.
Oh, there's no one.
Oh, he's
A
gonna take
dime
us on
for
a
a
tour.
Coke. Can you imagine? Now
Yeah.
we got Biden. It'll be $5 for a Coke before he gets.
Oh my god.
Jeez.
However, our numbers on
I
Facebook
can't.
are about to go through the roof. If we start
Oh.
talking a bunch of negative political stuff, our numbers will go
Oh,
through
okay.
the roof.
Yeah. for
Okay,
sure.
I
cool.
go
I'm
to the
good. I'm good.
It's true. It's
Okay.
true. Thank you guys. Talk
Thank
soon.
you.
All
All
right.
right.
Thank
See you
you.
guys. Thanks.
See you guys.